Let's go.
This is a warning to all living mortals. That who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
It's mighty strange. You looking happily range. I can't settle it in bed. Or have you picked your target yet? Listen, dear. Got your dog bite. Listen, dear.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
You about to witness hip-hop in its most purest, most rawest form, flow, almost flawless, most hardest, most honest, known artist. Chip off the old block, but old Doc is back. Looks like Batman brought his own Robin. Oh God, Saddam's got his own Laden. Off the hinges, oranges, peach, pears, plums, oranges. Yeah, here I come, I'm inches away from you, dear, fear none. Hip-hop is in a state of 911 zone. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness? Hell yeah. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness?
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here for episode 124 of the Barroom, and we got new faces, we got same faces, and then we got cider. How's it going,
The
everyone?
white face.
Well, before we get to all the usual faces here, let's introduce some of our newer people here to the show. For the first time ever, we got two guests joining us here tonight. Our good buddy, comedian, Mr. Theo Snodgrass. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Snodgrass. Yeah.
Snodgrass. There we go. How you doing tonight, Theo?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hey, thank you for inviting me on the night that you invited a bunch of girls. I'm gonna try not to read into that. That's.
I am not a pimp. I'm just going to say that right now. I have to make that very, very clear. That is not what's happening.
Before we go on, Theo, you don't happen to have any pizza on the counter because your cat has found something very interesting behind you back there.
Oh, he doesn't only eat food. He'll just eat whatever he finds lying around.
The souls of the innocent?
Yeah.
Why does everyone on this show have a cat? Like, what's going on?
I don't. It's getting exhausting, though.
Autism.
Okay, look, I was dating a girl. And when we broke up, she gave me a cat as a parting gift. That's how I have a cat. Okay, that's all I got.
She left it. Is that the?
No, she just said, the relationship was over. We weren't going to go any further. And she's like, I want you to have this cat. I was like, okay. Thank you. And now I have the cat.
Everyone has a cat. What is going on? Someone who does not have a
cat.
There's
a dog right there. Look. It's right there.
Also joining us tonight for the first time, Screen Queen Selena. How are you doing tonight?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Yes, I see you have a dog with you, like normal people.
It's Butters. It's good.
That's not the one that tried to go head first into a wall fairly recently, right? That's a different one, right?
That's Thor.
Okay. Making sure they didn't get those two confused.
Looking for studs.
All right, who else do we have here tonight? Oh, we have Nerdigans is back with us. How you doing today, Nerdigans?
I'm
and
doing
of course
okay.
she has her cat.
I have my kitty. He decided to be a good kitty and sit on my lap instead of causing terror.
One woman, one cat operation over there somewhere in Stockton, California. We have our good buddy C.S. Johnson joining us again. Face reveal, CJ, for the first time in months. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. You guys guilt me into it, you know.
And then somewhere in the ether, there's Eddie. How you doing, Eddie? How's it going?
Am I on the show? Oh, hey, everybody.
Hi, he's got that camcorder filter. Look. Looks like he's on an RCA shoulder mount.
I am amazing. I'm reinventing my house, and I'm exhausted, so I'll just be over here.
Reinventing?
Yeah, reinventing.
Like remodeling, or are you like
reinventing?
The floor on the ceiling? And
it's Christmas time. I'm reinventing my house as a gingerbread house. We're trying to install a couple of gumdrops and one of those, juicy fruit slides. So
it's ridiculously difficult to get a licensed juicy fruit slide installator
especially in California. Especially in California.
They all moved to Texas.
Hey, I mean, they got rid of their corrupt mayor and district
the mayor
attorney.
of Fruit Slip and Slide Town.
Yes, the mayor of Juicy Fruit is gone.
The mayor of Juicy Fruit.
Finally,
Mayor Fruit Booty is finally gone. From
Mayor Fruit Booty.
Well, two mayors up in the Bay Area are gone. The mayor of Fruity Cisco and the mayor of Fruitland.
Of Cocoa Puff Land.
Mm-hmm. Well, Eddie, we don't want to interrupt you before they get in your beauty rest, so we'll come back to you later on here. And then, of course, the other regulars who are here with me tonight. You have Cider here. How you doing, Cider?
I'm high.
Okay, that's great. We have Rob. Rob, are you also high?
No. And it's fun. I'm broke and I'm almost out of weed, so I have no choice now. I can just drift off into sobriety. It's just gonna take. By the way, I'm staying off Twitter for like 3 weeks because I'm gonna be the most irritable piece of shit you ever have met. So I'm just gonna stay off Twitter because that's a mistake. But yeah, I just wanted to mention really quick. I had my profile picture currently is a smile so big I look like Leonard Shelby in Memento after he killed his wife's murderer. That's how happy I was Wednesday morning. So anyway, cheers.
Hey, there's no better sobriety plan out there than poverty. So I mean, it works 100% of the time.
Yep,
that's how I quit vaping. Actually,
just to afford it.
Yeah.
Yep, and then somewhere Orange Chat's there, I think, right? Is he there?
I exist, yes, and I am ecstatic after last week.
Oh yeah, so before we get to our introduction of the people in the chat, I guess we should kind of talk about that. For you guys didn't know, there was an election last week. Elections did happen. Turns out Trump won, and Trump won by a lot. Trump won by probably more than anyone thought that he would going into it. He pretty much won every single battleground state that was that was going into.
I thought he was going to get 100 million votes, and I don't know, man.
He came close, but not quite. Yeah,
I got enough. I won enough Bitcoin off the 300.
1 quarter.
Mm-hmm. So as you know, last week our show was on Monday, not our regular Tuesday night, because on Tuesday I traveled up to Nashville for the Fox Nation election party coverage, and I ended up being live on Fox Nation and Fox News and Fox Radio. So I actually did it.
And you met your future wife.
Oh yeah, I'm not mentioning that one too. My new best friend, Abby Horsek, who's now one of the correspondents over at Fox News. So here's what happened. I was in Nashville. We were at Kid Rock's bar, and yes, Kid Rock was in fact there. I showed you guys a picture of him in my DM group, so he was there during the night. Clay Travis was there. Tommy Loren was there. A couple of other people who I'm not familiar with was also there as well. So essentially, we were all in a room packed in. They had every single TV on the Fox News coverage of the election, so they were like They would go to the Fox Nation Live, and then sometimes they switch over to Fox News as well. I talked to Abby, my new best friend, before she went live. She was going around talking to some of the people. We had a quick little conversation about 5-10 minutes before the interview that you guys saw, and it went well. And then she was like, "Hey, do you mind, talking on Fox News for about a good minute just to say a few things?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. I got 60 seconds to spare. Why not? I'll be on live on the news." So here is my appearance.
60 seconds of her life.
Mm-hmm. So here's our appearance live in a packed bar in Nashville, Tennessee, and then here's me on the Fox Nation.
Hey, there we go. How about you? This is a nice hat.
Yeah, very nice hat.
Where are you from?
From Georgia, actually.
Georgia. All right, big night for Georgia. What has been your reaction so far? And have you made friends with the folks over here?
Yeah, I know some of these people. Some of them I haven't met yet, but no. I mean, it looks pretty good so far. We know we're still kind of holding out. We know Georgia, obviously, North Carolina State with ball pay attention to. I think Wisconsin's actually probably.
I do like your naked cowboy hat
so far tonight. So we hope that flips our direction. So there's reason to be hopeful, but no, we're still waiting out to hear.
I do have to note, just in case you guys couldn't clearly see, that hat is entirely too small for my head. I got it I went to Nashville about 3 years ago for Memorial Day, then 4th of July, and they were giving them out there at the time period. So I just kept it because I didn't really have anything else to do, and I figured, election night, I'm going to a mostly friendly right-wing part of Nashville, so it's like, yeah, sure, I'll go and put on my undersized hat. It was very fortunate I did shave my head before going to this, or I probably would have had a lot harder time getting that one on there. So there you go.
I'm expecting that thing to pop off any second.
Yeah,
did Joe Dirt behind you buy you a beer?
I actually spoke with Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt is actually a pretty cool dude. So it's really very nice.
Yeah, he dresses like cider. Lay off. Right? Jeez.
Exactly.
Saying that hey, he's been reelected. So
what drove you to the polls this election?
I think it was the economy. I think that was the number one reason. A lot of people are just out there suffering right now, and it's really the position that there's a lot of people doing worse than they were 4 years ago, and they're tired of being told that no, they're actually doing well when they're not really doing well. And I think that's going to be the number one reason that drives people to the polls. And depending on the results of the election, that might be the deciding factor.
All right.
So yeah, that was me.
I think going with the economy is probably the best talking point, other than Hollywood is being run by pedophilic demons.
Yeah, exactly. That was gonna be my second, but I figured it's Fox News, so it's like I gotta lean into it, just a little bit.
If it were News Nation.
Yeah, right. And then here's a photo of me and my new best friends. Can I show this?
Future wife.
Yep, there we go. There's a good photo.
See that? That's perfect for their wedding announcement.
Looks
nice. They cut out a little heart there. It'd be perfect.
I think James Carville said it in 1992. It's the economy, stupid.
Yeah,
Bill Clinton's campaign. So it's like that's pretty much been the case every election except for maybe 2000 and 2004, just because economically we were doing great. But
yeah, it's almost as if when the economy is bad and people are doing financially worse than they were in the last election, you can almost win in a landslide.
I'm just gonna say that with the hat and everything, you're really not gonna live down these pimp allegations that you were talking about.
Yeah, it's hard out here for a pimp.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a player in the management profession.
I will not deny certain allegations against me. I'm just not going to clarify which allegations they are to stay ambiguous under the Fifth Amendment or whatever it is. But yeah, no, this is our Tuesday night, and then of course Trump won, so there was a lot of partying going on. Apparently, there was a lot of people just losing it on social media. A lot of people just were not having a very good time. A lot of miserable, angry people. And it's just weird. I mean, it's just weird how they were just so unhappy and
unhinged,
really, really butthurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think we all have seen all the car videos and all the reactions from the election that has taken place since that whole time has happened. And meanwhile, I mean, this is Nashville.
Kid Rock looks different.
So yeah, I mean that's what happened. We had a good night. It was a good night for us. Not so much for a lot of people on TikTok. Apparently, it was kind of a rough night for those people. So I don't know why. I mean,
did you hear about that
we were
story
happy.
about that guy that killed his family?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of that. I had interactions with people who told me that, you know, they basically came very, very close to putting a bullet in their mouth the night of the election results, and they just so happened to have it was a complete coincidence that they had a trans flag on their Twitter profile. So it's just don't come to any conclusions regarding that.
But that's the whole point. You would have to be detached from reality, obviously, and you know those people have issues with mental illness in the first place. But you would have to be detached to say that a political outcome that literally has almost nothing to do with you personally, you know, would make you make a drastic decision like that. It just speaks to how unhinged, how disconnected from everyday reality these people are. If you saw MSNBC, they kept denying the election, the economic thing too, where it was like for 3-4 days, it was just like, and finally now this Morning Joe is like, we got to get rid of the woke shit. And I'm just like, holy, I never thought I would have heard that, you know, since 2016, since I've been paying attention to kind of this, you know, the Trump election cycle stuff. I would have never thought that they would come out and say that. And it's like, wow, they really looked at the numbers and realized they got their ass beat.
But you know what? I got to mention this, though, is because of California in particular. The numbers came out for California that there was more votes for Trump in California since like, what was it, 2004? The last time there was more Republican votes from here. And Yashar Ali was the one that was reporting on it, and same with the amount of increased Republican votes coming from San Francisco, and liberals were losing it, and they were saying that he was getting paid by Trump to say that, and he's just like, what the hell are you people talking about? And he's done political work in San Francisco, so he knows what he's talking about. And he was talking about also in LA, the increased number of Republican votes from, from Beverly Hills. And I can't remember the other part either of LA. But the one proposition that passed that people were, I don't know why people were surprised.
By the way, didn't they, like 56 cents on gas per gallon or something like that?
Oh, that wasn't. We didn't get to vote on that. No. What? For those of you that don't know, there's this thing called CARB. I know it's stupid, and they are an unelected body that determines energy policy, and it's really stupid. And I don't know how we're gonna do anything about it, but the only thing we can do now, and now that this is proven that, you know, out-of-staters influencing our elections means we can actually get things done, is recall Newsom. We've gotten a lot of people recalled now, so.
I mean, at this point, he's almost going to serve a full term, so it's like, what is even the point now, right? I mean, a couple of things just real quick. One, here's a picture of Mr. Kid Rock at the bar. You can see him rocking the 45 cap. He was there. Two, here's another tweet that I want to show you of my new best friend saying that it was great chatting with me after I posted our video on Twitter too. So yeah, new best friend Abby Hornacek over there. And then Cole Classic Cage just donated $10. Says, oh look, it finally works now. Yeah, what happened was that I was kind of being a lazy bastard for a while and didn't turn the thing back on for quite some time. But yes, super chats are in fact available and active here on the YouTubes again, and that's a great thing because as we all know, not really getting paid too much here on the YouTubes. If you guys recall, last week we did an episode talking about all the celebrity people who were coming out and crying about Trump and whining about Trump, and what happened was that show got claimed for 24 hours by Paramount.
Jacob, you're sharing your homepage.
Yeah, I'm aware. So that show got claimed for 24 hours by Paramount for a Whitest Kid You Know sketch that I never played during any part of the stream whatsoever. So I don't know if it was one of those AI detections, but it was literally for a video that never got played, and then they released it after 24 hours after they realized that it was clearly never in the video. I mean, first of all, I know for a fact they were never going to claim the Justin Bieber song, 'cause who was really going to claim that video? Let's be honest, right? And then the other one was like the Illuminati one. They're not claiming that one either. So it's like, yeah, come on. We all know what's going on here. And by the way, no, for you're asking, I did not do this on accident. I was just showing you pictures of my new best friend, and that's all. That's
your
homepage. Yeah, all right. So it's just
he didn't bookmark the tweet. That's how you know he's not stalking her.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It just so happens to come out. It's just weird. But thank you, Cassie. I really appreciate your $10. So, and shout out to Cassie as well. That's all that I have coming here at the moment. I can only beg what Cider has for us here. What is it? Oh
This is
yeah,
Matt
this
Wallace?
is the other note.
Yeah. Wallace is an advisor to Trump, by the way. So this comes from a guy that sits down to lunch with the guy a few times a week. So it looks like Elon is putting, his money where his mouth is, and he's going to try and take a cable network for X. So I'm anxious to see what a meme / citizen journalism 24-hour news site is going to look. 24-hour news channel is going to look like. But
I'm also curious.
There'd be a lot of cop block videos.
I would have gone. I mean, I would have tried for CNN personally, but MSNBC would actually do the most damage to the liberals.
Well, I just want to see Mika, and I want to see that other guy, George, whatever his name is, that guy.
Joy Reid cry her
Mika and
eyes
Tom. Who is the guy? What's his name?
Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Her eyes bleed.
No, he's a former congressman. It's MSNBC. It's Mika and this really annoying
Joe Scarborough.
Scarborough, that's right.
Yeah.
We get Mika and Scarborough out on the curbside with their stuff from the desk cleaned out. That'll be good. We need that. I need a meme of that.
Same with Joy Reid, man.
Oh, that's right. She's on that network too.
Yeah,
My gosh.
Joy Reid, who, by the way, got me suspended originally under the original Twitter before Elon Musk bought it, and where I was permanently suspended for a year and a half. Because I called her a disingenuous, C word, not trying to hurt the stream. And so, but I was out for a year and a half, and then, I got brought back. I think that I'm interested in the price tag because this is a favor to Comcast. This is a favor to Universal, who, like all big, corporate media conglomerates, is struggling right now. And so is Elon going to be like, okay, I'll take it at like half off. I'll take it at whatever, 20 billion. I'm not even sure what the value would be. But if, especially if it's a chunk of money that they can like unload off the books, I'm sure Comcast would take that.
And watch him hire Tim Pool.
It's going to be a lot for them. I can tell you that much right now.
Fucking hilarious.
And now the Putin Hour here on X, the TV channel.
Jesus Christ.
Real quick, shout out to everyone who's joining us here in the chat right now. We're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch as well. Shout out to Keith over on Rumble side of things. We got Spencer joining us here on YouTube. Neozoic is here. Neozoic has a quick question for you guys. He says, which movie would you guys rather watch, the original Back to the Future or the original Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure? I'll go around the horn real quick on that one, Orange.
Bill and Ted or Back to the Future? I would go... Shit, that's a tough one. I would actually... flip a coin. Okay, Back to the Future.
All right, Rob.
I'll go Bill and Ted because I have my issues with Back to the Future, but it's a fine movie. McFly. But yeah, Bill and Ted. It's it's Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, I think is his name, being stupid. And hey, you learn stuff.
Nerding.
There was such a missed opportunity for the John Wick films to have Alex Winter in there as John Wick's like best friend.
Aren't they doing another one? They can always still put him in there.
Time travel.
Yeah, they got that fucking fifth one, even though they don't need it.
Nope.
But I go Back to the Future. I grew up watching it, so.
Cider.
I liked Back to the Future so much, I owned a 1983 DeLorean that I bought with the intention of taking my first fiance to prom in it.
That's certainly a move. I can't hate it too much. Theo, what would you take?
Oh, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for sure. George Carlin is in that.
Yeah. CJ.
Bill and Ted. I've never seen it.
Have you never seen Bill and Ted, or you never seen the other movie?
I've seen Back to the Future.
Oh, okay. So you never seen Bill and Ted. So okay. So by default, you would take Back to the Future.
I mean, that's like some sort of self-improvement thing, right? So.
Yeah. Selena.
Same. I've never seen Bill and Ted.
Oh my God.
Okay, listen.
See,
guys,
we invited women on the show, and then it's just already gone down. Here, not even like 24 minutes in.
Now you can't shame people for not having seen movies when there's like 8 million movies coming out every single second. Like it's just
that is very true.
You just gotta let shit go, guys.
Eddie.
I'll get on it.
Yeah, like Elsa.
between the two of them, I would pick Back to the Future. But for Bill and Ted, ladies, if you want to pick a better one, Bogus Journey is much better.
I think the
princesses are in that one.
Blush.
Yeah, just because
Journey will make.
just because they play Twister with death makes it worthwhile.
You can tell it was the cash grab sequel, though. You know,
yeah.
and
Absolutely.
honestly, I have a fonder memory of Bogus Journey than
I like Ghost.
I only saw the other one because I watched Comedy Central nonstop as a kid, and they used to actually put like some really good movies on there, and that was one of them.
I like Ghostbusters 2 more than Ghostbusters, just because it's a complete cash grab. They're trying to, but the whole time I'm always He-Man. They always got me. So, yeah.
I mean, Bill and Ted. You watch it as a kid, you get some good laughs. It's awesome fun. You watch it as an adult, and it's like, oh, that's what it fucking meant.
It's kind of the same thing like with Dude, Where's My Car? You watch it as a kid and you're just like, it's so stupid, it's funny. And then you watch it as an adult and you're like, oh.
So I've never seen that because when it came out, I was 12. And even at 12, I was like, this movie's too stupid for me. And I liked a lot of stupid movies. I love Austin Powers. I love, the Adam Sandler movies. So trust me, I like dumb shit. But I still haven't seen it, but I know the scene about the tattoos, and that's about it.
Oh man, that's sad. You haven't seen it.
Real quick, we got Vanya here, Neozoic, Leslie Tarkin's here, Doba Fett's here, Spencer is here as well. DK's here with us. Eternal Kote's here with us. Classic Cage is also in the chat. Rob will be there with some of you guys as well. Maurice Johnson, shout out to you. Iron Oxide also here. I wonder who he's here watching. Barona Rad's here joining us on the show tonight, and a few others are going to be trickling in throughout the course of the night. But I want to get started on this story because this is a story that has gone underreported in a lot of instances here, but it really could show you where the direction of Hollywood can be going here in the next couple of years, and it's not a great one. The Cider actually brought up the story earlier saying that, MSNBC is looking to be sold. If it is looking to be sold, Elon Musk would be interested at least making a bid for it. A lot of these media companies are just really falling apart, and it's because a lot of them have been falsely propped up for a while, if we're being honest with ourselves. A lot of it had to do with like election coverage or negative coverage against Trump. A lot of the corporatization of news, both in the media and in print, has also helped this out a lot as well. So none of these media companies are really profitable. A big example of that is that you have Warner Brothers, who just 3 years ago merged with Discovery and had about $60 billion in debt. I think they've probably cut that down to about 45 now, which is still a lot. And there's rumors that essentially they want to either merge with Comcast, NBC, or somehow merge with Paramount. And then even if they do merge with Paramount, they're still talking about still being bought out by NBC as well. So you're seeing these companies, and I mentioned this a while back ago, Rob heard this too. There was a time not that long ago, maybe about 40 years back, where you had like 31 media companies that were making all of the television shows and movies that you guys watch and love. Now there's roughly about a big 5, and in the next few years, it can easily become a big 2 very, very quickly. So David Zaslav, who's the guy running the show over at Discovery right now, says Trump's election may increase an opportunity for a needed industry conciliation, he says here, and this is what he's talking about here. There's the possibility that with Trump in charge, that some of the barriers for one company buying another, or basically getting condensed into one mega corporation, is more likely than it probably was before. Zaslav expressed hope that President-elect will make changes to put policies in place that will ease media industry's consolidation, said that it's a real positive. Referring to Trump's election, he says that we see an upcoming new administration. It's too early to tell, but it may offer a change of pace and an opportunity for conciliation, and may be quite different. That will provide a real positive and accelerated impact on this industry. It says that analysis suspect Trump's second term in office to spur many of the MMA activity in the across the industries. President Trump will likely reverse course from Biden, who aggressively put a regulatory approach over several industries here. It says that the chill deal making for a large scale mergers and acquisitions. I think you guys have covered a multitude of stories over the last few years about how these mega corporations have had a tough time essentially merging with one another and buying out one another because they've tried to hold out for what they believe is what is the best for, what is it, the monopoly laws or duopoly laws, even though we're kind of basically a duopoly at this point. If not, we're very, very close to being so. Warner Brothers Discovery, as you guys all know, they've still been going through financial turmoil. They've been bleeding money ever since Ted Turner owned that property. Let's be very, very clear here. Like, they're still paying off and cycling debt from the days of like WCW. Yeah, it's like going back further than that, right? It's not a great thing, but
never should have colorized those TCM movies.
Yep, thanks. Isn't the guy Jamie Kellner the guy who killed WCW? Isn't he dead now?
Yeah, he just
passed away.
Died.
Yeah, okay.
Son of a bitch.
Bastard. But Zaslav has met with Paramount's then CEO back in December of last year to explore a possible Warner Brothers Paramount merger. Paramount is also bleeding money and is not in good shape at the moment. Both of the executives continued discussions back in April to see about doing a merger. Keep in mind, Warner Brothers and Discovery just merged together, and now they're trying to sell to another company. And then even if that one happens, you still got Comcast, NBC somewhere in the shadows looking to scoop up everything. So imagine if all this plays out, you would have Comcast essentially buying 3 major media companies in one fell swoop at a discount, which is just absolutely insane to think about, but it's very, very close to being that. And imagine living in a world where essentially the only 2 major studios in play, at least here in the United States, are Disney and Comcast, and those are your only 2 major options. It's not a very good look. That's all I'm going to say there. But Zaslav seems to be hopeful that they can get this merger done and maybe a few more mergers along the way. We talked about NBC wanting to sell off assets. Disney, we've talked about for a while, has had a lot of issues. That's not going to improve things over there. So the media is really hurting right now, and I don't think that going to war with the American people over the last 15 years has really helped them in any way, shape, or form. But then again, you reap what you sow, and here's where we're at. So I'm gonna give a little bit of shine here to our new newbies here. So I'm gonna start with Theo. What's kind of your take here on what Zaslav is saying about these media corporations essentially trying to merge to be one giant conglomerate? Do you see that being a good thing or a bad thing, and how?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know that anybody takes legacy media companies seriously. I don't know anybody who's like excited about a major motion picture that's coming out. I don't even know if there's one that's exciting I think everything interesting right now is being made in alternative media. So I think if they all consolidate, then good for them, I guess. But I don't know. I'm enjoying watching our country slowly slip into like an oligopoly. It's fun just watching everything like burn around me as our currency becomes worthless and the illusion of choice slowly slips away, and we just have to swallow the single uniparty narrative. I'm looking forward to it.
So Selena, I want to get your take on it.
Wait, just a second. Theo, I think your mic is pulling from the wrong source. You might want to check that really? In the back. Yeah, it sounds like it's pulling from your headphones, not your device in your hand there.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, that's all. I'm done.
Damn it, Cider.
Text support, live text support right here.
How about now? Are we doing better?
Same one.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Mine was too, so thank you, Cider. I just checked mine.
Selena, hopefully you're pulling from
Cider,
the right.
Cider's,
I think so. Sound okay?
Yeah, right.
Okay. I think it'd be an interesting change to see them merge. I mean, I don't really pay attention to all that, but I don't know. It could be a good thing. I'm not sure. I don't know what else to say.
It would provide a lot more money for production. Honestly, that's certainly true.
That's probably the best opinion that's going to be on this topic, because literally, this is a clusterfuck. This is a disaster, and we've seen it coming for years. Really, one of my favorite podcasts that I listened to, really going on over a decade, Bret Easton Ellis podcast. He is connected into Hollywood, where he was like, movies are over in like 2014, 2015. I was like, okay, I think that's a little like you're premature. There's still a lot of good movies being made every year, and he was right. It dried up considerably. And someone that's incredibly tough on movies like me, I find it harder and harder every year to find movies that I'm excited about. Now, they still come out, they are still being released, but it's getting like 2 or 3 movies every year if I'm lucky. And this is with every studio is sort of failing, is careening towards taking on too much, spending too much on budgets, movies not making enough money. It's not going to last. The bottom is going to fall out, and I don't know what the hell they're doing. I've seen some of the releases this year, whether it's Furiosa, whether it's Beetlejuice. I mean, some of these movies, and you're like, this cost $200 million. What the fuck did you do with the money? Where did it go? I can't find it, certainly. And so I don't know. I don't know if this is their end game and this is just like their money laundering. It's just straight up at this point. So, with Warner Brothers, David Zaslav talking about, hey, Hollywood potentially having opportunities or getting small. I don't know why the president has any influence over Hollywood. I mean, there's some regulations at play, but
the government works with Hollywood.
Here's my take on this. Here's where Zaslav is wrong. Yeah, Trump might make it actually easier for antitrust laws to be put in effect, and it will backfire on Zaslav. It will backfire on a lot of these companies that think that they're going to merge and defy the antitrust laws. I mean, it took forever for Google to get screwed over, but yeah, if anything, because we saw what happened. I know you don't like talking about the vaccine, but I got to bring this up in regards to that. You saw what happened back in 2020 when Operation Lightspeed came to play. He said, we're cutting through the red tape, we're getting it done because of the crisis. Here, what I'm saying is, I think what he'll do is he can probably make something happen where they cut through the red tape and make it a lot easier to expedite the process to where these antitrust laws can be put in effect and stop these mergers from happening.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Cider just real quick on here, but let me get Neo Zo's question. I'm gonna answer him real quick. Would Warner Brothers Discovery shut down CNN? Should they shut down CNN? Yes, for a multitude of financial reasons. Will they? No.
They fired a bunch of people today, though, so they are
already getting ready to fire top ones as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
they fired Anderson
I'm hoping
Cooper
to get rid of Abby.
Because their numbers just don't justify, they got rid of Don Lemon a while ago. Wasn't Don Lemon making somewhere it's like 10 to 15 million a year being on CNN? Because he had been there for a while, so he was getting a massive salary, but his show wasn't even drawing like 1 million people.
20 mil a year.
Mm-hmm.
They got rid of what's his name? They got rid of what's his name? Cuomo in the middle of the whole whole thing. They got rid of him.
Cuomo was breaking the fucking law.
Yeah,
I know. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Cuomo gets fired. Cuomo gets fired
too. Warner Brothers Discovery just lost the rights to the NBA, so they didn't even have the money to retain the rights to really their biggest sports franchise that they have in their entire library right now. That's going to like NBC and Amazon starting next year. Even the Inside the NBA, the Shaq and Charles Barkley show, that one's going away too. So yeah, they're hurting big time, and a lot of these other ones are hurting as well. I mean, I feel like it's going to be this. We're going to move down to a part where you're going to have 2 major studios. It'll be Disney and NBC Universal. And then what you'll see is that you'll see companies like Apple and Amazon kind of ease their way into the entertainment realm to give the illusion that it's not really a monopoly, even though we know that those corporations aren't really film studios. I mean, let's be very honest. How many studios in Hollywood are genuine film studios, or are they just a very, very small portion of a multi-billion-dollar corporation's portfolio at this point?
Well,
you don't have genuine studios anymore.
Well, here's the thing, though. Google already went through the antitrust lawsuit. Amazon is, I think, heading into one, if I remember correctly, and so is and Apple's on the verge of hitting an antitrust lawsuit. So, and remember, they're making movies too, quote unquote. So, Microsoft is already didn't Microsoft get hit with an antitrust lawsuit, or they lost one not too long ago?
because weren't they trying to merge? What was it, Activision or something
They
like
already
that? Or
that merge was successful, but
okay.
Microsoft is on the verge of an antitrust lawsuit because of the video game industry. So that's why I'm like, Microsoft is in trouble. Amazon is really pushing it, and Apple is really pushing it. So that's why I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, and then Zaslav saying this, I'm like, dude, if anything, Trump might accelerate this process and get all these antitrust lawsuits processed.
Yeah, and I mean, look, this is difficult for me because I've been preaching free market for the last 4 years. After being a Bernie voter, which don't begin to tell me the contradictions of that one. But I don't know that I'm really for that. I don't want monopolies. I don't think that they should exist. I think literally it's like breaking up the banks, breaking up the studios, but I don't think you can legally do that, and it would go against, again, my political philosophy. So it's like, I don't even know where to begin here. I don't, if it's going to make it easier for these antitrust lawsuits to be filed and to be brought, I guess I'm in favor of that, because I ultimately don't want a limited number of corporations to own, 93% of the media in this country. And when I was growing up, it was 8. It wasn't great. It was still 8 corporations. It is now 5. 5 companies own 93% of the media in this country.
Like I said, I think in 81 it was like 31.
And listen,
technically one company owns all the media on the planet.
And not to get hysterical here, okay, but like, you hear all these weird leftists talk about fascism all the time. Okay, well, when corporations and the government are in bed together, guess what? That's a form of fascism. And you sort of see this happening where it's like all of the corporations are selling the sort of globalist, collectivist agenda. And it's like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? Where is this going? And, as the companies get smaller and smaller, it's just like, you get nervous. And so, if more lawsuits can be brought because he's the president, I'm certainly in favor of that.
CJ, let me ask you this just real quick. As a mother, do you like kind of like have joy in your eyes about the fact that there just won't be as much children entertainment to play for your kids throughout the course of the day, that there's fewer options now than there was 30 years ago?
See, we have a collective 30 years worth of entertainment, though.
Mm-hmm.
Physical media does exist. There are places on the internet where you can go, walk the plank a time or two. And those are the people, like, there's such a bad quality of writers that, Trump derangement syndrome 2.0 is probably already hitting people. So, that's probably the part of Hollywood that I think it will be affected. And so a lot of this stuff coming down the pipeline is just going to be, oh, look at this bad guy if he was Trump. And like, okay.
Yep.
Personally, I don't see a problem with any of this. I think that a lot of the film companies should go bankrupt. The films that they've created should go into public domain. And then we, as Americans, can collect money off of foreign film services that will stream them or sell them in their countries. And we can use that to pay back the deficit.
That's fair. Eddie, I'm gonna go with you real quick. 1, I want to get your thoughts on this story, and 2, generally just your thoughts on the election here, because you came in just a little bit late when we were talking about that.
About the election?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yay. I made a lot of money. That's awesome too, I guess.
Well, there's something.
Yeah. No, the most important thing, like, if you want me to be serious, the most important thing is that in about 2 years, because of all of these giant antitrust lawsuits that are going to be coming, and all of these bankruptcies, and all of these failed mergers, and all of these big mergers that are going to happen that are just going to completely implode, the most important thing that's going to happen in about 2 years is we're going to have a super big major union strike. Every single industry in the entire world is going to go on strike in about 2 years for every amount of reasons, because everyone is just losing money in general. So the most important thing is, if you want to be ahead of all that and actually like change the course of history, let's get the most responsible people to start leading that strike now, or at least start putting it together, because the worst thing that could happen is that it falls into the hands of crazy leftists and it becomes Occupy 2.0. And we don't need that. So we should start thinking about that. And if we want quality entertainment, that's going to be coming to us pretty soon. Everybody, on December 5th, Paddington in Peru, going to be the best movie in the entire year, bar none. I guarantee. I was right about The Wild Robot. I'm right about Paddington in Peru. A+.
Real quick, I know Selena has to drop out here for a second. I think it has a lot to do with Rick showing up. I think Rick scared her away. But
That's not it at all.
real quick, just in case you don't make it back, do you got anything that you want to promote? I'll give you just the box here just for a quick second.
Oh, well, I will be on Iron Oxide's channel on Friday for the weekly Rogues Gallery at 5:30 PST. Our special guest will be Drunk 3PO. So that'll be a big show. Other than that, I hop here and there to different channels. Still working on my own channel, which is ridiculous. But anyway, thank you guys for having me on. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. I appreciate your society. You guys have a good stream, and I'll see you later.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Well, it's nice seeing you.
Take it easy.
All right, Rick, you don't get to say anything. You showed up late. Does anyone else have any last minute thoughts here before we move on to our next topic?
Yep.
Yeah, the CNN thing, or not the CNN thing. Actually, never mind. We already covered it.
I would just like to say, like, the this is the changing of the guard because Gen Z is starting to get married. They're old enough to get married, so like, don't freak out. This is part of the whole evolutionary process type stuff. So,
well, I know you got all the. I know. See,
Yeah, I said you can't talk. You wait till the next segment.
The greatest loss in all of this conglomerate fold-in was the loss of Team Knight Rider.
It began when one man and one unique car waged a war on crime. Now, 5 fearless agents and 5 supercharged vehicles are taking it to the next level. With 5 times the excitement and 5 times the attitude. Take it to him, Beast. Holy. Get ready to ride. Team Knight Rider coming in October.
Wait a minute. Did Knight Rider just commit 9/11?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Second,
And
where's the
I think out of all the things to reboot, right? Out of all the things that could be burning money on, right? They go ahead, they would make like Team Knight Rider again with all the crazy electric cars we have now and all these neat little AI voices you can make things say and stuff like that. No. They do the Time Bandits. They don't even do the Time Bandits right.
Yeah. Well, by the way, great movie. And they just why did you do that? You just
Right, why? What was the point? Just make a new property.
That was a criterion, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, I want to get it yet, but
I did find out what I wanted to say. I just got reminded. Knight
Rider.
Apparently, while we've been live, it's now become official that Trump has announced Musk and Ramaswamy for Department of Government Efficiency.
I got announced before we went live, but that's good job. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
it's like
we'll see.
Now it's actually on.
We'll see how many of those fake jobs get removed over the course of the next few years. So yeah.
As long as there's 87,000 IRS agents fired in the next, I don't know, 300 days, that'll be fine.
well, they can go after all the people that are hiring all the illegal aliens instead of the taxpayers. So,
Well, he said he was going to use the military to go after him, though. So he might not need to hire people. We've got our soldiers who have been fighting illegal wars.
Yeah.
They can come back and fight a real one.
Rehire all the military people who lost their jobs thanks to the COVID vaccine, and tell them, "Hey, I got a special job for you. I wonder if you're interested."
You boys don't need to ship out. All I need you to do is do a neighborhood patrol. That's all I need you to do.
Yeah.
I'll start packing after the stream ends.
Yeah. Real quick, no, we do have a Friday night movie club this week, but we won't be doing the Tyson Jake Paul fake fight, unfortunately. So yeah. But I'll go ahead and go to our next topic here, because this is probably a big reason why all these corporations are losing money. Captain America Brave New World, which is the Black Captain America movie that is coming out in February, has hit another wave of reshoots. So let's set the stage here. This is a film that was literally supposed to be released, I believe, like earlier this year initially. I think almost like a year ago, but no, it was earlier this year. I think back in May it was supposed to be released. The film got shot, tested, and then tested poorly, like really bad test screenings. They were like, okay, we're gonna push this movie back. We're gonna reshoot certain scenes. We're gonna basically change 2/3 of this entire movie. Then we're gonna move forward. Then they finished shooting everything about a few months ago. Did another test screening, and it bombed again. So it's failed 2 test screenings officially up to this point. So now apparently they're going to be doing yet another set of reshoots. We don't know exactly how extensive they will be, but we do know that Juan Carlo Esposito, who's playing one of the villains in the film, he basically confirmed that yes, we are going to be reshooting certain scenes in a couple of weeks for this movie. By the way, before they announce even more reshoots, the production budget of this movie alone had ballooned to $375 million. With the reshoots, is now estimated to be at least $400 million, which means that you're talking about a film now about a character that nobody likes that has to make roughly about $1.2 billion to break even. This has been more expensive than the Avengers movies that people actually liked and made like $2 billion at the box office. But yeah, so Brave New World star Juan Carlo Esposito says that he reviews that the struggling Marvel film is heading back for another round of reshoots. This movie's supposed to come out in February, so this movie is technically supposed to be out in like 2 or 3 months. It doesn't even have that much time left, but yeah, we're actually going back. How little confidence they have. By the way, another little side note here. The character of the Black Captain America they introduced over the last like 10, 15 years. It was the series of the newer, more diverse Marvel characters that nobody likes. So it was the Black Captain America and Muslim Miss Marvel and lesbian Captain Marvel and Asian Hulk and all these characters that nobody remember. What's her name? Miss America.
Echo?
Is that her name? Miss America Chavez. That was another one too.
That was
Nobody
the
likes.
Multiverse of Madness, right?
Yeah, all characters that nobody likes. We were telling people almost 10 years ago that no one liked them in the comics, and now they're bringing them alive to the movie screen, and then they're spending an absurd amount of money on all this. They did She-Hulk a couple of years ago. They spent $212 million on that entire series. That was awful. Got 1 season and didn't even come close for a renewal at all. And this is probably going to be one of the biggest mistakes that they've done in quite some time. But yep, this one's heading for more reshoots. Brave New World, which is originally supposed to be New World Order, but apparently that was too on the nose, so they went back and changed the name of that one. No more reshoots. We'll start in the first ever live action incarnation of the Serpent Society with member Sidewinder. I believe they just announced that Seth Rollins is now back in the trailer too, so he's officially back in the movie. He was originally cut, and then I guess because they had to redo everything, that he's now back in it. So hooray for Seth. Maybe he could throw a punch in that movie. It says it'll come out in February 25th. I was love working with Anthony Mackie. He says, given the date for the premiere, it says that it's going to be a full theatrical date of February 14th, 2025, rather than any hard information receiving another delay. He says that we gave to the New York Theater. So we knew each other. We did a few readings together. We had a few plays back in the day. It was great synchronicity, he says. He also says that he turned some share of words of optimism to the young students in attendance, saying that I'm really grateful, I'm really thankful for you all here. But this is kind of where he was like, oh yeah, it's great, and we're actually going to do a little bit more. That's what he says, that the Captain America story, as much as great as it's been on set to shoot, I'm actually going back to do a little bit more. So excited, I get to put on that costume again, baby, he exclaimed. He says, but then it all happened out of fan casting. So he talks about how he ended up being a part of this project to begin with, and being a part of like the MCU for the first time. But he also let it slip that yeah, we're also reshooting more scenes here, because apparently a year and a half is not enough to get this film right. Yeah, so this is it's kind of mind-blowing like how we got to this point here. We have Harrison Ford, who's in this movie. He plays Red Hulk in the movie. He plays President in the context of the film here. I think he's 83 years old. By the time it comes out, he's probably gonna be about 84. If they want to do anything with him in the future, God knows how old he'll gonna be at that point. I mean, this is the guy who we killed him off as Han Solo like 8 years ago, and now we're still marching him out for the other Disney properties. It's kind of insane here at this point, but he's a part of this. There's talks about having what's her name? Is it Liv Tyler, or what was the other girl's name who played what's his name daughter in the first movie? Do you remember? No, not Jennifer Connelly. That's the whole. That's the '03 movie. I'm talking about the '08 movie, the one with Edward Norton.
That one was Liv Tyler.
Yeah. And she's apparently supposed to make a return in a cameo sense as well. A couple weeks ago, we did talk about the spoilers for this movie, but like I said, everything about this film behind the scenes that we've heard has been just absolutely awful. They played a new trailer that they released over the weekend to try to like dispel any notion that this film is doing terribly behind the scenes. I don't think it helped matters at all. And now they're doing more correction of this movie. They've sunken so much money into this film, it's almost like they can't go out now because, like I said, if they just kill this thing, then they're down $400 million, and Disney just does not have the ability to lose that much because the entire MCU depends on this. But I just don't see any way, shape, or form that this is going to be a win for them at this point in time. Rick, because you are late and I didn't allow you to speak for the first 55 minutes of this show, I will let you go on first. What is your thoughts on the tragedy behind the scenes that is Brave New World, the Black Captain America movie?
They need to fire everyone involved in the production, and that starts with what's his name, Kevin Feige, the one who was the one who people wanted to give an honorary Oscar for bringing the MCU to film. Look, there's no one in charge. When you're going to make a movie, you should have it. I've said this many times. You should have the movie locked in, the script ready. Sure, you could go back and do some reshoots if you're going to alter it, but this is what, the second, third time that they're going to reshoot something, add more scenes, take out more scenes. There's no one in charge. There's no script. There's no story. You're creating something that I don't think people are going to care about, and you're in a time crunch here. What is this movie supposed to be released in a few months? Or December, January, February?
Basically, like 3 months, essentially.
But 3 months. The trailers are out. The few people who are still interested in this are going to get, been getting ready for it, and now you're going to try to insert new things into a story that should have been already set. This is just a disaster. People, there's no one minding the store, and even if this movie is critically acclaimed, which I doubt, because the last 3-4 movies have not been, except maybe Deadpool and Wolverine, which I hated, but no one's invested in this. They really should just end the franchise. They should just retire it. If they want to do something on Disney Plus, go ahead. No, I don't think people are really going to continue the story of the one-legged, deaf, mute, potentially lesbian Native American that we were all so thrilled about. But they should just cancel it.
They might as well just do a $200 million movie with Echo. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, they should just end it. I know right now it's they probably can't because they have so much invested in it, but they should just say, you know what, this is the last one. This is it. We can't make any more. We're going to transition to Disney Plus, or we're going to do maybe a movie in 3 or 4 years, give the audience a chance to rest. They've tried to keep this going. It's not going. No one cares. And for me, whenever you have to do reshoot after reshoot after reshoot, that's a poor sign. That's a sign that there's no script, there's no story, there's no one in charge. So hey, we're all going to look forward to it though, because we're all going to go hate watch.
Well, let me ask Theo this question. What's kind of your take on the MCU as this conglomerate that's just been going on now for 15 years? Because most of us here agree that this thing probably should have just ended at Endgame, end on a high note, and while you were ahead. But because it's a money machine for Disney, they just kept it going now, and like virtually every single film, with the exception of like 2 at this point, has just been a flop after Endgame over the last 5 years. What's kind of your take on the current state of the MCU?
So I remember, I think I was 10 years old. It was either the first Tobey Maguire movie. Either it was the first Tobey Maguire movie. I saw it on my 10th birthday, and I saw it on screen. And I was so excited. I had a feeling of excitement that just radiated through my little 10-year-old body. And I was so happy that they were making superhero movies. And I heard they were going to make more Spider-Man movies. And then I heard they were going to make all the superheroes into movies, and I was so happy. And I will never forgive Disney for what they've done to me and what they've done to my childhood, what they've done to everything I've liked. They've just they ground the joy out of it. And they made me hate things I used to love, and they made me resent them. And they made me, every time I hear a new Marvel project, I just roll my eyes. It fills me with like a deep sense of like sadness and loss. Maybe it's because I'm not close with my family, but this is what I imagine it would feel like if a relative died. And I don't know. It's like it's like I went to war and lost. I'm just filled with this just deep sense of emptiness. But it is gratifying to watch them fail and watch them scramble, because that's what they're doing. They're scrambling because they know they're going to lose their ass on this movie, because they've lost their ass on their last several movies. Gotten so expensive to make that they can't afford to lose, and they're going to lose. They got nothing left. So there's no fan excitement. There's no one feels obligated to consume this movie. They have no real emotional attachment to any of these characters. They're guaranteed to lose. They just haven't admitted it yet. And I don't know. Honestly, they turn these properties over to independent creators. I've seen cooler superhero movies on YouTube lately than I've seen from major studios. There's some nerds with cameras that are making some cool stuff. I say turn it over to the people, man. That's what I say.
No, I wanted to shoot this one over with Nerdigans here, because Nerdigans, you've been following like a lot of this comic stuff for a while here. I'll get to the Anthony Mackie aspect of this, but I want to just focus on the character of itself. Like, what in the world makes them think that this is going to be in any way, shape, or form worth the investment that they're putting into it? They saw that She-Hulk was a flop. They saw that Miss Marvel was a flop. Those were like kind of key fixtures of this new woke era of Marvel that they've tried to prop up into the mainstream here. This is going to be another example of this. Like, are they really like? Have they really bought into their own lies when they thought to themselves, "Hey, look, we're on the Amazon list with all of these comic books. That must mean that we're really, really popular." It's like, did they buy into their own hype? Is that what happened here, or are they just stupid?
It's both. They bought into their own hype, and they believe in their in the numbers. That's what they do. They don't look at the other aspects of it. Like, for example, if you go watch World Class Bullshitters videos on YouTube about when he goes into like Ollie's and Target and see like especially Ollie's, where it's like the graveyard, the Hasbro graveyard of Disney's Disney properties and Marvel properties. You see like Eternals, you see Black Panther, Wakanda Forever stuff, and it's like mountains of it. No one wants these toys. Disney is just losing money, and they don't seem to understand that. Either that or they don't care.
Yeah, Rooftop Green actually brings up a good point here. So maybe the reshoots are a response to the last election. Well, they announced the reshoots before the election actually happened, but maybe if they had gotten the Iggy that hey, maybe this election isn't going to go the way that we think. Who knows? There are, according to the spoilers of the last cut of this trailer, there's like an end scene that you can easily allude to be like, oh, this is what they're trying to say against Trump, and then they didn't expect them to win. Now you did win, and that could have thrown a wrench into things, but that's certainly not going to help you either. And then Rob, I want to ask you just this question just real quick. Anthony Mackie in no way, shape, or form is a leading man, nor has he ever proven himself to be leading in any category whatsoever. I just reviewed the film he did this weekend called Elevation. It's like the most generic like action sci-fi movie I've ever seen like in my life. It's so generic. It's like it's 90 minutes and like nothing happens and then it's it. It's just like you don't even have like enough emotion to feel one way or another. Why do they honestly think that the MCU is still the big money making hit that it was 5 years ago? That they think, oh, we can put out a movie with Anthony Mackie and it'll still make a whole ton of money? Do they actually genuinely think that this guy's a star?
I don't know. I can't think that they do. I think that they're just trying to perpetuate their roles in Hollywood as studio executives. It's their job to greenlight what their bosses want them to greenlight. That's really what it comes down to. Because other than that, it used to be that you took a chance on something to look good to your boss because it was like, oh, you didn't see this one coming, asshole, did you? And that's how you got promoted. That's how you got your boss's job, by the way. And so, but like now it just seems like they're running out the clock. You know, I used to compare this to gambling, you know, going to a casino. I don't know what the odds are potentially on this movie breaking even, but I would put everything I own on it not. You know, if the odds are like minus 1,800, you know what I mean? You got to wager 100, you know what it's like, that's, you have to wager $1,800 to make 100. It's like, it's not even worth it. That is how bad their track record has been as of late, where any new movie that's coming out, I mean, unless it's got even if it has like a major star, a major figure, or a character, it's the returns are minimal. The returns are, it's just a fraction of what it used to be. And so this movie, the fourth Captain America movie with not even Captain America, some other guy who's playing him. I mean, even if it has precedent in the comics and whatever, like, I just have my doubts. And then Harrison Ford is coming back to play Red Hulk, is playing William Hurt's character, basically. Okay. I mean, it just seems like they're spinning their wheels. And then it costs $400 million. These people are crazy. These people are absolutely nuts. And that's the only thing I can think of, is that they have their roles. They're not going to walk away from these jobs. So, you know, they'll just keep firing away until they get fired or the company collapses, you know, with them in charge. But I have been at a loss at the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I've hated Marvel movies for the last decade, but really for the last 4 or 5 years, 2020, 2019, you know, really just after the last Avengers movie, it's like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you keep thinking that, hey, it might hit. Hey, it might hit, like at a roulette table. Hey, it might hit. It's not going to. You haven't developed a story, characters, or a formula that actually, I mean, it's a formula that worked for the first, you know, 20 movies.
They
I guess.
abandoned that formula.
Yeah, and so you didn't replace it with anything, and so it's just, this is where we are. And again, I've it's true for all of these things. What Theo said, it's true of Star Wars. It's true of Marvel. It's true to a certain extent of DC, even though much less, because they've had some good returns with some of their stuff. It's true of pretty much every Transformers, every intellectual property you can think of. He-Man, they haven't even been able to get that off the ground, but they've been trying. So this is where we are. Hollywood is in its death knell, I think. I don't think it's going to come back from this, and it's just going to keep doubling down.
Eddie, let me ask you. Real quick, I'll go to Eddie. Let me ask you real quick. What do you think about Captain America, and what do you think about the cameo of one Colby Lopez? Do you like the Hispanic representation that we're seeing in the movie?
First off, it should have been Captain Mexico from the very beginning. He is a much more popular character, and actually, there's an entire alternate timeline and universe when it comes to the Spanish Marvel. So, and everyone enjoys that one. Everyone wants Gwen alive. Everybody, you know, wants Spider-Man to be a real man and all that. You know? So,
in all honesty, I would rather give a $40 million budget to a Captain Mexico, just be a cholo superhero from Los Angeles, and do that story. It's like, yeah.
Hey, I want to see a Chapulín Colorado be the MCU.
I want blood in, blood out, but I want it to be the Thor version of it.
And I want his brother to be Real from Cypress Hill. That's what I want as well.
But yeah, I don't pay it. I don't pay attention much to the Marvel movies. So
yeah, good for you, honestly. CJ, you had a point you were gonna make.
So first, I was going to say Anthony Mackie is actually on record of saying that he is not the selling ticket to this. It's Captain America or the Falcon or whatever.
No,
it's more of a character kind of thing. And then the second thing is it's like Rob said, it's like movies have been dying for a long time just because the administrative bloat has gotten so bad. And then all the people that currently work, it's almost like Social Security. So heads up, old people. A lot of the people that are paying the union dues are paying for other things that the people who retire with the union benefits are still getting. They're supposed to get those for life. Who's going to provide for them if they're not working? That's kind of a scary question. And it's just, it really is one of those things where they don't have the whole story, they don't have it written out. mean, this is terrible because you have so many things that go along with the movie. You have the novelizations, you have the, I mean, like all the promotional stuff that has story elements in it, kids' books, like with characters in it. That's definitely not going to help them any when it comes to making back their money. And the third thing, like, is kind of like the big thing is like we're the first real generation to be like completely saturated day in and day out of media. Like, this is a big mass media kind of longevity study that like nobody's ever really faced before. Okay. The kind of like target population for a lot of these films is aging out, and the people coming in haven't been here from the start. So it's definitely something that catering to the older people who are fans might have been a better, smarter move, rather than trying to keep the hype and the recycled kind of garbage that kind of comes in and you kind of take for granted that, oh, this is a superhero movies for nerds. You know?
And
You know what?
I'm sure you'll agree with me about the nostalgia porn. You know, like all the movies that came out this year. See, they cater to that demographic, but they do it in the most shallow way. You know, with Beetlejuice, or the Furiosa movie, or I mean, they do this time and again. Where
Ghostbusters.
that was something, and yeah, right, the Ghostbusters. I just wrote a review on that. Terrible. There's no soul. It's like you're cannibalizing the thing that came before it that everybody loves for this one little sliver of a reference point. And it's like, this isn't worth the effort you put into it, which was none. So it's like, that's the frustrating thing, is that they do cater to like that older audience, but it's in the smallest and the shallowest of ways.
Well, it's kind of like a midlife crisis kind of comparison at that point.
Look, at this point, Hollywood's so creatively bankrupt. I'd rather just them make GTA movies. It's like, yeah, turn this into a film. Give it $20 million. I mean, it's probably more of a draw than seeing Black Captain America 4, attempt number 3.
The problem that you have with the New World Order, or whatever this thing is that with these new scenes, you have to integrate them somehow into whatever plot you crafted for the movie. So they have to fit. And if you can make them fit, then what kind of plot did you have already? So that's going to be the difficulty that they have. You've already altered the story by having these massive reshoots before. Now you're having more reshoots, so you're going to corrupt the original idea, whatever it was, even more. You needed to have this story already. I keep saying this. You needed to have that story locked in. You needed to have that story set. You needed to know what direction you were going to take the overall story. Not because, remember, this is not just a movie. This is the latest episode in the world's longest and most expensive soap opera. You need to make that fit into the overall story that is going to lead to, I guess, not Kang or whatever villain they have. And then you've got you have to tie it into other things. How is it going to work if you don't even have a plot for this movie? This is not going to be good. And when we go see it, when people finally actually go see it, are they going to notice how it's not coherent? I mean, how is it going to work? This is not good. None of the signs are good. But who knows? Maybe this will end up being one of the great films of 2025. Who's to know? Who's to know?
No, I'm sorry.
I think we all know that. Okay.
Oh, come! I'm an optimist. I'm an optimist.
Optimists shouldn't be like borderline delusional. Yes.
Hey, you told me something thought that Kamala was going to sweep. All right, so.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I don't know what they're doing with this movie. Like I said, this is their third attempt of trying to fix this film. I mean, it's a mess. Yeah, whatever. Go ahead, Orange, and I'll go finish my point.
One of their biggest problems is they did the whole Disney Plus show thing, where they're putting in characters that were introduced through shows, not through movies. So when you are doing a Captain America movie, and then suddenly you have these new people show up, it's like, who the fuck are these people? I mean, the American soldier or American agent or whatever his name is, he's going to get his ass slapped by Red Hulk. You also have other characters, and it's like, When did he become Captain America? Oh yeah, there was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What the fuck is a Falcon and a Winter Soldier? If people aren't paying attention to these shows, they're not going to know what the fuck's going on. That was one of Disney's biggest mistakes, was by making smaller things. It's called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's not called the Marvel Disney Plus universe.
Exactly.
So by not having the shit in movies, you're making it harder. So you're going to have a lot of people going in there who are confused as hell and being like, this movie kind of sucks. I mean, we don't know who anybody was. And then with this, it's like 1.2 billion just to break even. That's the high estimate. The low estimate is 1 billion or 1 billion even, or 900 million. But the thing is, it's like they are not understanding that by having any sort of identity politics in this movie, you are pushing the majority of audiences, which has now been established, away. And they have to start reflecting on this. It's like, look, you guys got to start reflecting on shit. If you don't freaking start looking at what needs to change, you're done. We will not support your shit anymore. How do I feel about the counter argument of what about Star Wars? They introduced General Grievous in 2003, not in the movies. That's because they did it wisely. That's because people were so wanting the next chapter of Star Wars that they were so interested in Star Wars was still a hot commodity back then. The MCU was growing stale. And not only that, the Star Wars miniseries was on Cartoon Network. It was on public television. It wasn't on a pay-to-watch streaming service. It was a different time when it was actually free to watch. So that is the ginger black chick is a superstar and justifiably jammed into everything. Who the fuck is a ginger black chick? I have no idea.
I'll tell you here in a second, but I want Theo to get his.
I was gonna say it's not just is it that the characters are introduced on a streaming service. It's a streaming service that was failing because it didn't draw enough subscribers that had to create a merger with Hulu. So they're knowingly inserting characters into the movies that they know a lot of fans are just gonna have no idea what's going on. Like, this is clearly, it's bad strategy. My thought is that they're just trying to attract investment capital from firms that'll I guess flood them with capital for pushing diversity. You know, like there's weird financial incentives where that's what I'm thinking is like, because they can't be trying to cater to the customers anymore, right? Because the customers
not with this movie.
The customers have been clear they don't like the product. So I think we're just in this weird age where businesses are catering to they're trying to get they're flooded with investment capital rather than trying to please their customers. You know, the other thing is that I think a lot of millennials are executives now, and they think Twitter is real life, and they've all been through the same indoctrination mills, which is to say 4-year colleges, and they've all got the same bullshit degrees. And every single day of your time in college, they're pumping you full of bullshit propaganda. And you think you're being a good person by just jamming this forced diversity down the public's throat. They've got you convinced that you're like a holy warrior, for making the world a better place, when really you're making everything suck.
Real quick before I wrap up this topic here, people are like, why is this film failing? Well, first of all, you got a director here, Julius Ona, who's only 3 movies before this one that he's actually directed. A film in 2015 called The Girl Is in Trouble, an indie film most people probably have never seen or heard about before. The Cloverfield Paradox, which was the marketing movie that Netflix did to make you think that it was in line with the Cloverfield movies, and absolutely was not at all. And then some film in 2019 called Loose, which was a film that you guys... Yeah,
so good. I'm sorry. I have to say that it was one of my top movies of 2019, which was a loaded year. I think it just made my top 10, but that's a really good movie. But I'm not going to defend this dude on a superhero movie. Obviously, it's like
in the same way that was it Chloe Zhao should never have done a superhero movie.
Yeah, but Nomadland was terrible. That's the difference.
Yes, it was. But the point is, you get these artists to make these movies. It's not a good idea.
So he's the one who's directing this, and the person who's writing this film or basically the writing team from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, even though they only technically did, I think, combined 3 episodes of that series. They didn't even do the whole series. And those are the guys who are writing this. And there's no one in charge who actually knows what they're doing. And then on top of that, you have studio interference because they have to essentially run the playbook of Kevin Feige rather than do anything original, because, you know, that's not what Disney goes for. So this whole thing is just an absolute mess. And they're really out there. I hope that, I mean, like I said, I just can't see how you can possibly think that this character that you're doing here is worth all this money and effort that you're putting together, and it's falling apart at the seams. So, any last minute thoughts here on this one before we move on?
Can we put in Daniel Bruhl to do his little disco dance in this Captain America movie?
Yeah.
We need that. We need him to be clubbing there again. I don't know what the character is.
No, you play that dance when they're just like $300 million in the red when the snow thing finally comes out.
I also like to point out that I Will Be Orange has defending counsel when he goes in front of the judge, admitting that he's stolen cable because Cartoon Network is not free television; it's cable. You have to pay for that.
Right, you have to have a cable subscription.
Not if you have a hot box.
Okay,
if you had cable, you know what it fucking means. Shut up.
I wasn't poor growing up. I'm sorry.
Just like Better Call Saul, better off Ed.
I wasn't poor either. We just had a hot box to save money.
Yep,
we're just smarter. But speaking of bad comic book movies, let's talk about Joker 2. Tim Dillon, who I guess played one of the guards in the movie, has come out literally a month after that film has been released, said it's basically the worst film that he's ever made, and it's the worst film ever. I'll go ahead and go here. Comedian Tim Dillon, who has a blink and you'll miss it role in Joker 2. Joker, what's the douchey French name for it, Rick?
Folie à deux. I don't know.
And but now he doesn't want to say it. Of course he wants to swear.
Folie à deux.
Sorry, I wasn't. I was listening to.
You're too busy stuffing your face in the middle of my show. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, it says. By the way, thank you. It was good salad.
It says, as an Arkham Asylum security guard, he appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience and trashed Todd Phillips' controversial Joker City sequel as one of the worst films that he's ever been made. Since the sequel earned a mostly negative reviews, mostly negative by everyone who saw it. It had $58 million domestically, 204 worldwide. I think it barely made back its production budget at this point, so it was a massive flop for Warner Brothers. He went on and said, it's the worst film ever made. I think what happened after the first Joker, there was a lot of talk like, oh, this was loved by incels, and this was loved by the wrong kinds of people. This went the wrong kind of message, male rage, nihilism, all the think pieces. And then I think, what if we went the other way? What if they had Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga tap dance to the point where it's insane? It says that it has no plot, he continued. He says, we sit there with me and the other guys are all dressed as security outfits because we're working at Arkham Asylum. I would turn to one of them, I will wear this crap, and I would go, what the fuck is this? They go, this is gonna bomb, man. I go, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. We were talking about it at lunch. It says, we go, where's the plot? Is there a plot? I don't know. I think he falls in love with her in prison. It's not even hate watchable. That's how terrible it is. So he wanted to theorize that maybe the Joker sequel was a $200 million practical joke, how it directly played against everything fans loved against the 2019 film. To some, the film's biggest strength, including Quentin Tarantino, who talked about a couple of weeks back on Bret Easton Ellis, basically saying the same thing. He thought it was basically a $200 million FU to Hollywood and to the comic book fanboys and all this stuff. So a lot of people are now starting to just come out and say that, yeah, this film was basically just one giant middle finger to everyone who loved the first movie. And that's why it's probably on pace to losing $150 million. So everyone is great at business. Everyone is stupendous at business economics. Everyone's doing great. Everything's losing money, and then they're just making all the bad decisions. So it just seems like that we're just doing great as a society here. CJ, what's your take on Joker 2? Is it the worst movie ever? I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it, but I just wanted to say
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, right. Because you haven't been here with us for the last few weeks. You probably haven't alluded to some of the stuff that we've been talking about here, but like I said, it feels like that. Yeah, this is basically just a big giant middle finger to everyone who loved the first one because the wrong people liked it.
I mean, that's a very plausible theory. I would probably back that if I was a betting person. So I'll leave that to Rick, maybe.
Ricardo, as someone who has seen this film, what's your take on Dillon?
Against my will, I should point out. Well, I don't know what he's complaining about. I mean, it wasn't his job to rape the Joker or the not Joker because he might not be the actual Joker. I mean, that was the whole point of the guards, right? From what I remember.
Yeah, they had to literally booty goon him to make him act normal again, and apparently that's how they beat the Joker.
Look, it was a cameo, so I don't think he should really worry too much.
Just start laughing at Eddie.
We should really not worry about. We should really not worry about it. Yeah. Look, if he saw the script, then everyone there said that look, there's no plot here. Yeah, but he went along with it because he probably needed the money. No, Madam Web is much better than Joker 2. I'm sorry.
Rick,
I'm sorry.
it's a cameo role. He would probably
Yes.
his agent probably got him the job. He went on set for one fucking day, and he had his shooting script for that day. That's probably what happened, to be completely honest. Tim Dillon is disingenuous because he's a comedian. He does all this for entertainment and for the clicks and the attention anyway. When he showed up on screen in this movie, I was like, ugh. Just because
I wouldn't even know who he was.
He's
Honestly,
he's the type of comic that I usually like. However, because he's been so promoted, I'm immediately like, I'm getting overexposed to you, and I don't like it. I'm getting that feeling where it's like, okay, are you funny or are you just kind of being promoted constantly and are a dick? Which again, I like that type of comedy, so it's fine. But
no, honestly, when he was on the screen, I wouldn't know who he
Right.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's just trying to maybe disassociate himself from this. I don't know why, because it's like you said, it's a cameo. No one's going to pay attention to him. But you know, he's not wrong when he says that there's no real plot. I mean, what was the point of all of this? So yeah, I think maybe he's just doing this to get more attention, and it's not the worst movie ever.
It's universally hated. So if you think about it from this perspective, and this is just me being cynical, you know, you can kind of because there's nobody's talking about it. It came and went that first weekend, died the second weekend, and so I feel like this is almost just him trying to get like the public on the side, which it already is, where he's just like, "Hey, this is a piece of shit movie." And
I mean,
the distancing thing is like almost like the performance, but in all reality, it's just like, "Hey, I'm going to get another week."
I know that this movie really did a number on people because my cousin said that he saw it, he didn't know it was a musical, and he left. I think he walked out early, and he said that he did not see another movie for the rest of his road trip because he was so traumatized by the experience of seeing this. He said, like, I can't see anything else.
Real quick here, I have to go to MSK, who donated $2 via super chat. He says 3 strokes and she got pregnant, and that's not how it works. I will say this. It took me longer to start a lawnmower than it took for Joker to have relations with Harley Quinn in that movie. And yeah, and the whole thing, it was like, oh, I'm pregnant now. It's like, really? From that? I mean, that'd be sad. I mean, I would be upset if that was my experience.
Why did he get a conjugal visit in the middle of his like murder trial or whatever?
Because the plot required it to. All right? Because
but this is why
required it to.
I thought it would have been, and I said this with the review that we did. I thought it would have been actually much better if the whole thing was she was in his mind, like the chick in the first movie was. You know what I mean? And so
it would have made that sex scene a lot awkward, though. If that's
true. What are you doing? And okay, never mind.
Tim Dillon's on the other side of the door, peeking.
Nerdigans, have you ever had a sex experience as embarrassing as Joker in this movie?
I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know.
It's not great. It's
not
not as
a
bad as
no.
you think that it is. Cider, have you ever had a sex experience as embarrassing as Joker did in this movie?
Yeah, Yeah, actually, yeah. Was having sex on the beach of a lake at the middle of the night, and a couple of guys showed up to smoke weed, and their headlights were just right spotlighting, and I was like, "We gotta go." I'm not
didn't ask for
interested in
any
bringing
weed?
free
You didn't ask-
Pornhub. So,
You didn't ask to borrow, or to share the weed with them.
you know what? That
I think
was
he had
not
bigger
on my
priorities
mind.
at that time period.
What kind of negotiation tactic would that have been?
It was a rare moment when you weren't high.
Having the halogens tanning my ass cheeks at the time was a bit more on my mind than I want to get high with these guys. They seem cool.
I don't think these two strangers want to share their weed with some dude with his pants down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what goes on in the wilds of Maine. I mean, I've not had.
I literally was beside myself. I'm like, there's 1.8 million people living in this entire state. And at 12:30 at night at a remote lake in the middle of nowhere, two guys show up and flash their high beams at me while I'm getting laid on a beach side. What the hell? That's God. That's God telling me stop having sex outside. And I never did again.
Divine intervention. Speaking of that, Paulie here saying, "Hey, let me let you know something. You have not seen my new best friend, so do not come over to my show with that slander."
I've had 3 fiancés and so many girlfriends in between there. It's a little hard to get engaged to somebody when they don't know how you make the ocean roll, you know?
To answer Maurice's question, why not?
Considering the fact it was a lake, I can imagine.
Oh, it wasn't a drink. I thought Cider was having a drink, the sex on the beach. I'm sorry, I was confused.
I mean, it's still a better experience than like getting attacked by a dog in the middle of the act. That'll probably be a more traumatizing one.
Is this Australia? The hell?
I mean, there's dogs on the beach too, especially the people that make you imagine like a pit bull biting you during.
Do we have another topic, or are we going to stick to talking about prison rape and dog dripping your balls off mid? What are we doing? What is this?
Well, wait a minute. Lady Gaga did not rape Arthur Fleck.
No, that was Tim Dillon.
Yes.
But she
I don't think if you show that video in a court of law, that will go constitute as a rape one way or another. That's how bad that sex scene was. Oh man, this movie was just terrible. Everything about this.
Turtles have more passionate sex than that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
and
right.
rabbits last longer.
And they use their tails backwards.
Would you rather watch this movie or The Last Jedi?
Come on, don't.
Oh man, that's hard to
Jedi,
pick.
and that's saying something.
Jedi.
Last Jedi has Force rape.
I might, you know what, CS. I might actually watch Argyle before I watch Joker.
Ooh.
In The Last
Has
Jedi,
better costumes.
In The Last Jedi, you can watch an Asian woman burn to death in space after bombs inexplicably being dropped from a ship in space are falling on a planet. Like you can't get much better than that.
Not only that, but you have that purple hair white woman committing space jihad as well. So you can't.
Yes. Well, when I think of movies that do the audience, this is the
Isn't
first
that
one I think of.
Academy? Isn't that Academy Award winner Laura Dern?
I don't know. I don't.
You think they make that scene better? She should have did like the terrorist turkey gobble scream before going into this.
What, Marriage Story? Is that what you
Yeah.
want?
That's what we need. We need like an AI
I did
edit
that
of
thing
Finn
that
when he's
Walter
like
does from Jeff Dunham.
when like Finn's like driving the speeder car thing into the big old cannon that inexplicably is just there. They just decided, Bossing Say from Avatar, and he screams Allahu Akbar. Yeah, there it is, Allahu Akbar, as he crashes into the cannon.
And there goes Knight Rider crashing into the side.
Yeah,
If you're gonna edit it like that, you can't make it a woman though. Women don't enter
It's
paradise.
like literally, she just like puts on the shahada like right before she's like crashes in and screams Allahu Akbar.
But does Akbar shout?
That's
It's a trap.
You cost me my 72 virgins.
Mhm. And that's probably a good question. Who would constitute?
I wanted that.
There's a good question.
I'm happy that I'm not the most offensive person on the stream this time.
Who would constitute as the space Jews of Star Wars?
We already know.
The Jedi, you
There's
mean?
no constituting. It's Watto,
Religion?
the slaver.
It's Watto, yeah.
Hey, Annie, what are you going to do? He has the hat, Jacob. He has the hat.
Little Annie.
Or is this where we're gonna start singing Jews in space?
You know what's weird? He's the same guy who played.
One.
Pigs in space.
Like George
He's the same-
Lucas, I don't know how he got away with that. Like, just think about that for a minute. Like, that's barely a caricature, okay?
It's because he
that
used
is-
What, Yoda?
he used
no,
Watto.
Watto.
It's the same guy.
that whole movie
It's the
was
guy. It's the
racist.
same guy in. It's the same guy in Godfather 2. The guy who portrayed the guy who
Abe Vigoda?
not Abe
No, that
Vigoda
was
too.
first. Never mind.
I can't remember his name, but he's
Hyman
that
Roth?
guy. Not Hyman Roth.
Hyman Roth.
Yeah,
Hyman
that's-
Roth.
You mean
Now I'm
Mario?
gonna think
No,
about this
that-
all day.
But then you have the
Attack of Clones was
obligatory.
very racist.
You have the obligatory over-the-top Asian aliens as well that are like, "Oh no, the Jedi
Oh,
are
no,
going to
the
come
Jedi."
and lick
Yeah.
our buttholes. We'd better run."
Oh no, I have disowned my family, and then he like shoves like a sword into his belly.
Have the seppuku. Anakin's like, "I can help you with that."
So by that
That's,
point,
uh,
is Jar Jar
Gungans-
is Jar Jar
The
actually
Gungans are the Jamaican stereotypes.
right? Or is Jar Jar like the most offensive Star Wars character, or
Not
because with
anymore.
all of that,
I like Jar Jar.
Well-
Leave him alone.
Technically, Jar.
he says
Technically-
"Squeeze me."
Technically, Jar Jar nearly drove a man to suicide. So I would say that one takes the cake. Okay, that would be the most offensive one because that nearly drove a man to suicide. And I don't. Watto didn't
Who's
do
the
that.
man? The viewer?
No, the actor. The actor talked about
the
because
actor.
people just hated the
Because he's a fucking
character, and he was
clown.
just like, "I did my best," and they're just like, "No, never." You know, and he was for a while he wouldn't go to cons because people just wanted to make fun of him the whole time, and yeah, it nearly drove him to suicide. Do I feel bad about not liking Jar Jar Binks? Not at all. Not at all. That guy should take a look at that script and been like, "Mr. Lucas, can we just run this through the planning room one more time, maybe?"
Okay, but picture
He became
this.
a senator.
Picture this. So it's night. Imagine this. It's 1996, and somebody comes, and you're an actor that nobody knows, and they come to you with a script, and they say, "All right, I'm going to make another Star Wars movie. We're going to bring it out of time." At this point, Star Wars is like hot like shit on a sidewalk, man. It's like the hottest thing, the hottest property that's ever existed. Everyone's psyched about it. They just did the VHS release of the original movies. And they're like, we're going to make a new one. And you get to be in it. And guess what? You're going to be the character they put in for kids that everyone's going to buy the merch for. That's you. It's CGI. You don't even have to show up. You just do the voice. It's going to be great. You know, you don't take that deal. I take that deal tomorrow.
Right.
But you gotta look at the script. You can't just
And you
sign
get-
on
and
to
you
that
get residuals?
script.
I just make choices with my gut.
For what it is, if you had taken
you
the
get
script, it would have
residuals?
been cultural appropriation.
Right.
From what it's
I would-
worth.
Bro, give me those Star Wars residuals. I will culturally appropriate I'll do blackface. If
For
you
what
give me
it's
the
worth.
residuals.
Gungan face.
Don't give a
I think you
fuck.
meant Gungan face.
I did not. I meant-
Isn't that basically what Dark Maul is? Blackface? Star Wars?
Yes.
The
Let's
top
say-
three top three most well-known characters in Star Wars legend, I really believe, is Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and Jar Jar Binks. Those are the top three most recognizable. You know who that is as soon as you see it. You know.
Drop of the Hut.
Serious or anything, but Chewbacca is pretty synonymous. I don't know.
It's true. It's true. But I'm
He
saying
has
the
a
top
song.
three. When you see
Especially-
He has a
Chewie,
song based off him.
Especially after you saw the Star Wars Holiday Special, where you got to see Chewbacca's whole family.
And Mala.
Itchy.
Didn't we have a
Yeah.
Star Wars topic that we're going to be discussing tonight?
Yeah, I was just gonna bring up. I was just gonna bring
I will
this out.
say, like, the fact that Jar Jar Binks and The Last Jedi have elevated the conversation around Joker 2. The ultimate condemnation against this film.
Well, back in 1999, it was a completely different kind of prison rape.
I'll just say this, to show you just how great of a movie Joker 2 is, we literally just spent the last 10 minutes talking about Star Wars.
Thanks, Joaquin Phoenix. That's
to
who
answer-
should be Ray's apprentice, right? So Ray's this young
I'm pretty
woman,
sure
and then
this is
she's
what Jacob
apprentice.
brings me on for, so.
The
Yeah, so
Padawan's like an old man. That would be funny.
Neozoic asks a question here. Does Joker 2 take the title of the worst sequel ever? I'll be honest with you. I struggle to even think of anything of memory that's worse than this movie. Like
The Exorcist 2. The Exorcist 2, The Heretic is the worst sequel of all time. I will stand on
Is
that.
that the recent one?
I don't
No,
care
no,
about
no, Seven, I think.
no. There's something weirdly entertaining about Richard Burton wildly overacting. there's just something almost hypnotic. I have seen Exorcist 2.
Hypnotic, like a car accident.
At the moment when Linda Blair crosses her eyes as she's going through that machine, come on, that's probably better than anything in Joker 2.
Rough. So bad.
And the bees, though, and seeing James Earl Jones dressed, leopard thing. Yeah, and the locust. I'm sorry, it was the locust. Ned Beatty in there for no reason. Heretic is bad, but I still would rather watch that than Joker 2 Folie à Deux.
It is bad. This is rotten. This is just
terrible.
Nerdigans, can you think of any sequel in movie history worse than Joker 2?
Critters 2, maybe.
Hey, leave that alone.
There's also there's Leprechaun 2 that's pretty bad.
Who the fuck called out Critters 2? Saying that was bad.
Rick, maybe? I don't know who that was.
It was me.
Yeah.
Dude,
but in fairness, I've never seen any of the
those
Critters.
fucking words.
Joker 2 makes Tremors 2 stealing my Godfather 2. That's how bad this movie is.
Critters is
It makes
like
HUD look like Chud, and I love Chud.
Oh, okay. Oh, Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I love that. I loved what's her name, the one that played Sindel.
Yeah.
Yo, you're gonna die.
I gotta say that one's even better than Joker 2 because at least you can go back and laugh at that one.
Oh,
Okay.
Never mind. I'm thinking more
LL Cool J.
the video game, not a movie.
I got one. I got Space Jam 2.
Oh, you're right. That was terrible.
Wow.
That was
Yeah.
The one with LeBron?
In the heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
Too,
was
but
terrible.
instead of the best sequel, we're talking about the worst sequel.
Yeah.
Are we in college?
So
Oh, you guys forgot. I just remembered.
This is how you get a fan base.
here's one that a lot of people don't want to remember. Maybe it's because it's outside of your age range, but Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2.
You're right.
Oh God, no.
Guess you saw it in theaters, by the way. Guess you saw it. Baby
Same. I was
sequel.
dating a girl that wanted to see
my-
it. I mean, I saw some of the movie, but I was there, you know.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, what about the direct-to-DVD/VHS Disney movies like Belle's Magical World? Return of Jafar is a guilty pleasure. I love that movie.
I love Return of Jafar.
Jafar wears glasses.
Hold it.
A bit.
I do know the worst sequel ever. Didn't they have a second
Wait a
Hollywood
minute.
special?
There's a Megamind 2.
There is a
There's a
Megamind
Megamind
2.
too.
It's
Oh
on,
yeah, the
it's on
Megamind 2 is
Peacock.
horrible.
That's terrible too.
It's on Peacock, I think. You can find it there.
Yeah, it's really bad, and so is the TV show. It is.
There's a TV show.
Yeah.
How
20
much
years later.
bullshit can you extract from that? My God.
Oh, does Turbo a Power Ranger movie count?
Yeah.
Hold on. They were fed Sentai footage, okay? This is Miracle Man not wanting to do his fucking job. That's the only part of that.
Returns
That's
was
the
fucking
contention of the
iconic. Shut
story.
the fuck
Hey, Batman
Oh,
Returns
honestly, Batman
is a
Returns is
Christmas
good.
classic. Batman Returns is a Christmas classic. How dare you?
That's
There's
true.
Batman Forever if we want to go with that, or not Batman.
I love
Forever.
Batman. No.
I meant
Batman and Robin is worth.
That was the one
Batman
I meant.
Forever is Kino.
I love Batman
absolute
Forever.
king.
I meant
No.
Batman and Robin, and Batman and Robin's a really big guilty pleasure of mine too. I love it. It's so
Speed
bad it's
2.
good.
Yeah, that was one, yeah.
Return
What
to the
about
Blue Lagoon.
There's Jaws 3.
Doesn't everybody hate Die Hard too?
I like to point out one that was another sequel that was absolute Kino.
Yeah.
Another sequel that was absolute Kino. Homeward Bound 2 when they go to San Francisco.
Yes,
Yes.
it was so good. I love
Yes.
that movie. I used to watch it on VHS all the time.
Yes.
Oh, The Hangover
Over
Part 2.
Oh gosh, let me tell you,
Vanya.
Hangover Part 2. I had
Vanya
to
be spitting facts.
I had to be held back from running to the screen and pulling it down because I was just in a shaking rage.
Yeah, and
at
here's the
Hangover
thing.
2.
Here's the thing about
It's the only
Hangover
movie to be a
movies.
sequel and a remake at the same time.
No, well, here's the thing, because okay, the first movie, okay, that's funny, but if that kind of event happens to you more than once in your life, you're just irresponsible.
You're an
Yeah,
addict.
Like you're just
problem.
not good at making choices at that point. Like you should probably get some help.
Oh, Boba Fett might have taken it. Blues Brothers 2000. Yes.
Oh, that was a
that
good
movie
one.
was
That's an atrocious
terrible.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Good.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Well,
Yeah.
hold
Oh,
on.
no. There's a new Home Alone movie that was bad. Home Alone 3 was a guilty pleasure. Let's be real.
That's all right.
Home Alone.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid has a giant mom in it, and she's kind of foxy. Okay,
That's
and
true.
I'm okay with that. I'm
I
okay.
can't deny
with
that. Can't deny.
No.
Yeah,
Well,
Jaws 2, Jaws Revenge, just for the Michael Caine bit where he falls into the water, but then in the next scene he's completely dry.
Does Jaws 3D count, or is that too far?
Jaws the Revenge has one of the great lines from Michael Caine where he said, I never saw it. I'm told it's terrible, but I saw the house that it built me, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, clearly there's a lot of bad movies out there.
Right.
So,
Right.
And some of them are so bad that it's good.
We've been talking a while, and nobody brought up Iron Man 2, so I'm still in the right for liking it.
I was honestly just thinking about
Iron
Too
Man
Fast,
3
Too
was the
Furious when
worst.
you said that.
No, Too Fast, Too Furious
God.
might not.
Iron
No,
Man
it's
3 was
enjoyable
the
and it
one
has
that-
the best title of any sequel. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Iron Man
If you
3
want-
was the one
Tacky
that
as
got
hell,
me to,
but it's still not
that
nearly
got
the
me
worst.
kicked out of a
series.
theater.
Iron Man 2 is not the worst sequel. Like it's bad, but it's not like, oh my god, I want to scratch my eyes out
Like
bad.
Troll 2.
Burned.
Anybody here has seen Troll 2? You know exactly what I mean. But yeah, that's a terrible movie. But I think
Iron
it's
Man
supposed to.
3, I threw my drink at the theater screen when when the fucking Mandarin dude was revealed to be a joke. I fucking lost it.
I
That
love
was
it.
the
Basic
only movie
Instinct
I have
2.
ever been removed
Oh
from
my
the theater.
gosh, Basic Instinct
God.
2.
They made
That-
it like a decade after the original came out. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Like I was a teenager and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go see old Sharon Stone. I don't.
They
why
want to
why
make
would
a
I want
third.
that?
Basic Instinct
They
2
actually
was
wanna
really
make a third.
bad. It was hilarious.
That Dumb and Dumber sequel was really bad too, I thought.
Oh yeah, real bad.
Well,
The only
you
thing
also
to
got-
top it is Shark Boy and Lava Girl, where
Oh,
they're like
God.
gender twisted. That
Oh
too,
god,
you
I
know.
hated that.
Yeah.
Then
So
there's the Spy Kids movie.
Worst opportunity for a sequel? Sin City 2.
Oh, so
No,
bad.
yeah,
Trust
that
me,
was.
Eva Green looks incredible. That entire movie. It didn't matter because there's just nothing there. And I read the graphic novel it's based on, A Dame to Kill For. So I was like really primed, really excited, and it was shit.
It just fell apart.
Yeah.
I feel like National Treasure 2 is like
You-
the biggest
does-
disappointment.
Does anyone remember the American Psycho movie with Mila Kunis? Remember that film?
Never watched it because it seemed terrible, and
that was a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All American Girl, American Psycho 2,
No.
All American Girl with me.
Superman,
Mila
well,
Kunis.
Conjuring
this
2.
was further down, but Superman
Annabelle
4,
2.
Quest for
The
Peace.
Quest for Peace. Yeah, that was
Oh,
terrible.
God.
That was terrible. That was really bad.
So
The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. There you go.
That was terrible.
Son
I
of a
got to have money.
Do you guys remember
By
the
the way,
Beauty and the
Lion
Beast
King 2
special?
sucked. Lion King 1.5, gold
Hey,
star.
That was good.
Lion King 2 was good though. I like Lion King 2.
Is that the Scar's cousin?
No,
Baby
it's
Scar?
Scar's cub.
Kobu.
You know,
Yeah.
Jacob,
It's
I
all
think
incest in
every
that
week
Lion family.
we should have this conversation. This seems to be really. Everybody seems to have a pretty strong opinion about this. and
I'd rather
like
talk.
you,
I'd much
we're
rather
not
talk
running
about
out
this.
of
than-
movies.
No.
I'd much rather talk. Right. I see how many movies we have to catch up on before we have to even think about brand new ones.
So
Right.
Like,
for all the movies that
Oh,
we've watched
Jesus,
on
how
my
long
Friday
we
Night
got
Movie
this
Club,
topic?
I think the worst was The Cable Guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other
By
movie?
far.
I love the Cable Guy.
That one.
Are we
I
talking,
love the
we're talking
Cable Guy.
about the 90s cable guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
I
one with
didn't
Jim
see
Carrey.
it.
that was
Good.
good.
Yes.
I didn't
I
see
like
it.
that.
When he
that.
fleeced the studio out of $20 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you see,
Hey, for what it is.
for liking Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, that was
Well, yeah,
better.
no, that was terrible. I'm sorry.
That
That
was
one.
better. That was better than the Cable Guy. That was
She
better than the Cable
breaks
Guy.
the chains on the gates with her boobs. That is an amazing movie. Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cider. There you go. High five.
That should
Scooby-
that should be in cinematic college classes. Like this is how you get butts and
We
seats.
need-
Yeah, you
Boobs
know that my
breaking
favorite
chains.
We
movie
need
of
a
the year is
criterion
Substance,
for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Criterion. All right.
I want to know the stunt boobs behind that. All right, I want to know the stunt boobs behind that because you know they didn't stick Elvira's in there, couldn't risk bruising them. So who are the stunt boobs there?
you
There's
are
a
talking about
mysterious-
that awful 2001 movie she did, right?
Her name is Lexi
Didn't
LaRue,
even
Twitter.
know. I only know about the one where she was trying to flirt with all the high school students, and that made me feel incredibly uncomfortable when I realized what she was doing.
They're gonna burn her at the stake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, neat.
Anyone have any final thoughts on Joker?
That's what we were talking about.
Strike me as the best movie reviewer.
Well, besides
But,
it being worse than Batman and
even a
Robin.
blind squirrel finds a nut.
And any person who says that Megalopolis was worse than Joker 2, really, you need to get mental health.
It is so close. They're like this. They're like, because Joker 2, because Hideo Kojima said that Joker 2 is going to be looked at 20 years from now as a masterpiece. So you got to take Hideo Kojima for his word.
No,
No.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay, Metal Gear, guy who made Metal Gear.
Good
Okay?
game. Good series.
Yeah, he's very well renowned for being like kind of one of those experimental kind of guys.
He's like the Elon Musk of experimental video games.
Yeah, kind of experimental concepts. He rarely has a miss, but the trouble is the guy's an esoteric thinker. And so, of course, the Joker movie would appeal to him because it's esoteric. It's more spiritual than it's meant to make sense. And that's why he likes it, because a lot of stuff he makes is more spiritual than makes sense.
I gotta pause here just real quick. There was a Titanic 2.
Yes.
James Cameron allowed Titanic 2 to be made.
Well, no, there was a movie called. Wait a minute, there was Beyond the Poseidon Adventure and Raise the Titanic, but those.
There's also Titanic 2. There's also Titanic 2 Colloquio, which is a terrible Italian cartoon where they try to do like a musical version of the sunken ship.
Oh,
all the
you're
fish are
right.
singing. Terrible.
Yeah, it's strange.
I still want to see Beyond the Poseidon Adventure.
Raise the Titanic is probably the most hopeful movie about the Titanic I have ever seen. Like the Russians even like are brought to the Soviets cease like aggression against the U.S. because of this. It's amazing. It's like some like foreign policy wet dream that the U.S. raises the Titanic and somehow that because of that act, world peace is secured. It's amazing.
Yeah, so Joker 2, final thoughts on this one. It's literally made us think about decades worth of shitty movies. So that's the legacy of Joker 2.
We even found some new ones.
I know.
Yeah.
Great. That was it. And Megalopolis is going to be used for like your high school teacher, your English teacher doesn't want to teach class that week.
Yep.
So he decides to just put that movie on and like you have to understand the themes and they understand the processes and then
that's
all
gonna
this
be
other
used.
garbage.
That's gonna be used in elementary schools when the kids act up. It's like, okay, so you guys don't want to act up, right? Well, here you go. Get to watch this movie for the next 2 hours.
Right.
But you're confusing with Babylon. Okay. See.
Yeah.
The thing about Megalopolis, and I'm not going to defend it completely. There are issues with it. It's a fucking bonkers movie. It is. But there's for cinephiles, for people that love movies and love the history of them and all that. There's a lot of shit in there that will amuse you.
There is.
And so I will agree with you. It is a mess of a movie, and in no way is it a cogent, complete work. But I'm glad that Francis Ford Coppola made it. He used his own money. Yeah, it's ultimately a failure because it made what, like $9 million. You know what I mean?
But it's much better. It's surprisingly much more coherent than Babylon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we got one last topic to talk about, and we're going back to Star Wars, so we'll stay in the Star Wars realm here.
Hooray.
This is our closer. Disney is now set to make a new trilogy where they will officially usher in Daisy Ridley's character of Rey as the new face of the franchise moving forward. All the other OG people are dead, or you wish that they were dead, and the only person who is now left is Rey. So she is going to be the Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, all your characters that you actually like. She's the face of this whole thing moving forward. Good old brick face is here. And here's an article that came out earlier today for the Hollywood Reporter, basically saying that Star Wars movie race for Rey in the future of the franchise on the big screen. Now, if you guys haven't realized, they haven't put out a Star Wars movie, I think like 5 years now, nor are they even remotely close to doing another one because, well, that thing did not end very well for Star Wars. But here's your face. This is what the entire plan for Kathleen Kennedy was this whole time, was to make this mediocre British white woman the face of the entire franchise moving forward. And if you don't like this, it's probably because you're an incest phobe or ist or whatever they want to call you these days.
We hate women.
Yes, certainly. It says here. God, this is why. This is why people in the media are losing their job. Listen to this opening sentence. Forget the Death Star. The most coveted weapon in the Star Wars movie arsenal is the character of Rey Skywalker. That's the opening line.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're done here. Good night. I can't take this anymore. We're out of here.
Bye bye.
It's over. Go home.
Yeah, no. Since the November 5th reveal that Simon Kinberg is going to be developing, writing, and producing the new Star Wars trilogy, which is going to be focused all on the character of Rey Skywalker, who's not a Skywalker, literally just stole that name, will be the continuation of the so-called 9-film Skywalker saga, tying it to the legacy of Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the storylines laid out by George Lucas in 1977. Thanks, George. This is all your fault. The reason of the debate is the new hope for the trilogy will feature Rey in some form or fashion. Okay, here we go. Some fans have expressed criticism that Lucasfilm will return to make return to the well to make episodes, as they're called. Beyond the 9 movies will compromise the Skywalker story, which has led up to being built, including the 2019 Rise of the Skywalker, which grossed $1 billion globally. Wasn't well received. It was also significantly less than the first 2 of that little sequel trilogies that they're calling it now. It was very bad. But Rey, the scavenger turned Jedi, played by Daisy Ridley in the last 3 episodes of the movie, is a key figure to the franchise's next turn. That puts Kinberg's trilogy and story development as early in the conceptual stages as it may be on a collision course with Rey's standalone movie that is actively in the works with director, his name Charmaine Chinoy. I'll just pretend like that's how does he say his name. Really set the star in the film that is already in production, but we're not anticipating any heavy wins yet with the movies. They're still trying to figure out how they're going to put this thing together, which tells you that they have no ideas whatsoever. But perhaps why Lucasfilms were receptive to Kingsbird's multi-story pitch, anything to move Rey forward and endure rumors that the Star Wars underground with the filmmakers josting the character. Ridley, for her part, told the Hollywood Reporter, "I feel like the new one or new ones will be so interesting. Time has passed and a lot has changed for me. Personally, be interesting to come back to someone who I know so well and it'd be such a different moment." By the way, I think she's the only person in the sequel trilogies who's been confirmed to come back. So anyone else you guys even remotely liked in those movies probably not going to be a part of this one, because they're going to move a whole foot forward with this one. But according to
Commander Holdo,
nope, Holdo out.
Where's Chewie?
He's out. He's dead. Choo, he's dead. He
and
died.
Poe? What about
Yeah,
Poe?
He literally got hammered in the ass until he died. That's canon for Chewbacca's
Rose
death.
Tico. What about Rose Tico? We need to bring her
Oh my
back.
God! Shut up! Holy shit!
Well, insiders dispute the notion that there's a battle for Rey. There's definitely an internal deliberation within Lucasfilm on what to do with their heir to the Skywalker next. She's the most valuable cinematic asset in some ways, maybe the only one Star Wars has right now. That's not a good thing. That's not a positive. That should be a holy crap, we've screwed the pooch of this realization moment. But according to sources, Rey is set to play a role in several movies that are being developed, although which ones are unclear. Like I said, they have no plan. That's really what it comes down to. Kathleen Kennedy is taking fire for not developing meaningful characters beyond those created by Lucas in the prior sale to Disney in 2012 for $4 billion for this franchise. All of those beloved characters, Luke, Leia, Vader, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Han, they're all dead or storylines are wrapped. They're never coming back. So all we have now left is Rey. It's almost as if it was like this directly by design. But the basis of this whole article, to kind of like sum it up here, is that they're looking to create a new path forward with this entire franchise, with Rey being the center mark. Essentially, they're going to treat her as if she's now the new Luke Skywalker, the new Obi-Wan Kenobi. I can only assume that they're going to find some other brick-faced British girl to be like the new Rey, and then she's going to have to like train her some girl-on-girl montage of the training in the forest and swinging sticks that cut trees and stuff like that. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing.
Jacob, that just sounds so weird the way you phrase it.
Yeah, I mean, if they did that, they probably draw money, but they won't. Yeah, this is where we're at now. So this is Star Wars in a nutshell. Orange Hat, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk about this whole thing. What do you feel about Star Wars basically destroying the entire legacy of this 50-year franchise to put Rey as the Roman Reigns moving forward?
I think that they should have never involved anyone after 2005, because everything that has happened after 2005 has been lower quality than what George Lucas and his story group did. While I do like the Plagueis novel, but like 80% of it, but as for Daisy Ridley coming back, she needs a paycheck, but Star Wars is killing her now because she's got Graves' disease. And the stress of making Star Wars, she confirmed, is what fucking triggered all the damn stress that triggered her Graves. I find it absolutely stupid that if they want to finally go bankrupt, if they are literally reaping this all the way to chapter 11, go for it, because Rey's character, you have these 3 movies that you call canon, and the people have spoken. It's not that she's a female, it's that she is a badly written character. Nobody in the fucking lore ever could just touch somebody from across the galaxy and download every fucking thing they know how to do. It just doesn't work. That's not how the Force works. But people kept on saying, oh, you're not but sexist and bigots and whatnot. It's like, no, we're very passionate fans. We know what we fucking know. And yeah, she is Mary Sue Bayana Rad. Because how does a fucking Mary Sue suddenly know how to lift a bunch of shit or a bunch of fucking rocks without fucking training? I'm sorry. You need the training for that shit. Raw power can only get you so far. But
hey man, I can operate heavy machinery just by knowing where the levers are. That's usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Daisy Ridley, I have nothing against her unless she fucking goes after fans. Then I'll fucking take my issues with her. But I have nothing against her because she was simply following a script and doing her job. So I'm not going to fucking hit or go after her for that. But when it comes to them just wanting to continue this horse shit, it's like, give it the fuck up. You are catering to literally tens of thousands of Star Wars fans when they number in a billion plus. So you are going to have to change your fucking formula. That's all my thoughts on it.
Theo, what's your take on the direction of Star Wars under Rey? Because it's her franchise now. It's her story.
Yeah. Never forget what they took from you. Never forget. You don't have to forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
They will suffer. They will incur suffering for this, and they will deserve it. And you don't have to forgive them. It's okay. Never forget what they took from you. And also listen to the way Daisy Ridley talks about the role. She says, it'll be so nice to go back to a role I know so well. I've gone through so much in my personal life, so it'll be so great for me. It's not about you. It's not about you. You are an actor reading words that were written for fans. It is not about you. And I think that is central to the problem with Hollywood right now, is we have narcissists making media about themselves for no one. That's central to the problems that we're dealing with. You have people who are completely and totally obsessed with themselves, who do not have a capacity for empathy. And that's why they can't write humans. And that's why they can't portray humans. They can't portray people that are relatable because they do not possess the capacity to relate to others. They don't have it. It's not there. They don't have that gear. So that's why everything sucks now. And I'm sad. and I'm gonna go be sad after this. You've made me sad, society. You ruined my whole night. I have to go do stand up after this, you dick.
So you love the stand-up bitch is gonna be 20 minutes of talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be sad about Star Wars. I'm gonna make everyone miserable.
Well,
talk about bad sequels.
You could talk. You could try to get the audience to find their sequels, like their worst sequels, and just riff off of that.
It's just this whole thing, I don't know. It reminds me so much of, the whole argument about gay actors playing gay characters, and it's like it's acting, it's not being. And that thing Daisy Ridley saying about it's going to be so great for me, it's like it should be great for you to go back into a character. It should be great that you get to put yourself into somebody who has a defined arc, has a defined motivation, all these things. That is a relief for an actor. You know why? They don't have to be themselves. That's why so many actors it's ingrained in them to be actors. It's because psychologically they're fucked up, first of all. Second of all, and it's this thing about I can be somebody else because they have all these defined characteristics, and it's all there. I mean, you have to work to obviously become them and get into the role and the performance, but that's the work, that's the role, that's the performance that you're supposed to be becoming something else. And this just seems to be a vehicle for her own psychological projections. I mean, I don't know. I don't think she's the writer, but maybe she has more feedback to the writing staff. I don't know, but this is a character that fans have seemingly rejected, that fans don't want. So it seems like they're just doubling down on the same idea. Once again, Star Wars is not anything I'm interested in. I loved the original trilogy as a kid, but I let that go a long time ago, probably since episode 1, when I was 10, and was like, oh, okay. So, but they're going to keep spinning their wheels. They're going to see what they can put out, and it'll probably fail.
Eddie, I want to talk to Eddie here for a second. Eddie, I'm giving you the book. So you have to book Rey's heel turn to make this thing interesting, because we tried the babyface run, it didn't work. Now we have to turn her heel to make it seem like this was our plan the entire time, even though it clearly wasn't. So how do we Roman Reigns 2017 this whole situation and make something out of it?
Well, first off, I would get her in this getup because this is absolutely fantastic. What you got to do, honestly, with Rey is because she's so powerful. Because whatever reason, I don't know why they decided not to give her any pushback on any of her powers, but because she's so powerful, she's kind of like what's her face from Frozen, right? Where she's she's a bad person, but she doesn't want to be a bad person, but it just keeps on pushing her and pushing her. And so when you find yourself constantly getting pushed further into something that you don't want to be, you end up getting some Sith qualities. And as you can see, it kind of suits her really well. I actually like the first picture, the first one, where she's a little pudgy in the face, right? I can see that actually being where she should be. Not that one, the other one. One more.
No, was it the one before this one?
That one. That's that's exactly where I think Rey should be. She should be a little older, a little bit more commanding. I like the all black because it gives her that Darth Vader kind of look to her. And even just like Darth Vader, you can kind of switch her baby face at the end of it. So, there's a real thing. I don't know who you would do it with. You can't do it with Poe, and you can't do it with what's his name? The one China hates.
Oh, yeah, the back guy.
Yeah, you can't do it with him. So, I don't know who you would get it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who you would get to. I don't know who you would get to have this girl turn babyface with.
Yeah, because that's the problem. You basically
they killed off. They killed off her bow, right?
Yeah. Okay, see, I'm kind of actually insulted that you didn't ask me what to do about it.
Please.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have got any of our wrestling terms. It just went all over your head.
That's true.
Jeez.
Okay, then now you book the heel turn. Then CJ, you're the writer extraordinaire. So you turn.
All right. So the last scene in The Last Jedi was that little kid pulling the broom to him and stuff. Okay, so while Rey and everybody else is dealing with zombie Palpatine, okay, they see it as a moment that they need to go further away into hiding. Okay, so in this new series, Rey has to deal with like these problems, and it comes about that there's this whole separate, non-connected to the Jedi Temple sort of group of Jedi, and the leader is a very charismatic, very attractive man, Henry Cavill, if we can get him. Right?
Don't you want an actor? Someone who can actually act?
I said that for you. No, but he's just this, like this very hotshot guy, very cocky and overconfident, maybe to an extent. And he tells her, like he was one of Luke Skywalker's former students, was his teacher, like, miraculously survived Kylo Ren's, reckoning. And so he knows what it means to have been taught by a true master. And thus, they're solving these things together, and it's very slow burn, enemies to lovers, but rivals, and action, mystery, thriller stuff. So I can write better stuff than this, okay? But this is like, give me 10 minutes with this, and I'll have a whole plot outline for the like a trilogy. So Ahsoka should be dead by now. So
I like her idea more.
Yeah, that's right. Is it sad that after all of the Disney Star Wars movies and Disney Plus shows that we've seen over like the last, how long has it been, like almost 10 years, felt like it's been a decade now, the only character that I actually genuinely liked was the Jyn Erso character from, was it Rogue One? And she was in one movie and they killed her, and that was it.
She's also like a very blank slate personality. You only really like her because of the droid.
Yeah, and then she died, and I mean there was also the other thing about that film having like so many reshoots. They basically reshot the entire movie at one point, so we never actually got to see what the character was supposed to become, because they just effed the whole thing off. But that seems to be a trend for a Lucasfilm and Disney in general. It's like they really just don't have any idea what they're doing at all.
Yeah, and see, with my idea too, you could also bring in the whole Darth Maul survived somehow and managed to like sort of train other Sith Lords and stuff. And you could do like, you could reach back all the way into the prequels and the originals. Sorry, I had to get it out.
They did technically do that with Han Solo, where they brought him back as a teaser and then it just went absolutely nowhere.
But I mean, like, see, that's the thing though. It did go absolutely nowhere. So it's perfect chance to like bring his kind of fate back into the film focus. So hire me, Disney, and you will make money.
Like, do they want to make money now? That's the problem. Like, I don't think
Well,
they want to make money.
The question, I guess.
CS, you could go and work on the Captain America movie. I'm sure you can fix that.
They probably need somebody to fix
No
it.
movie with reshoot, and that's not true. But whenever there are reshoots, it's like it's not good. Okay, there are movies that have done reshoots that still turn out okay, but it almost never is a really good to excellent film. It's always like, okay, we ran into issues we didn't foresee, which is of course why we do reshoots in the first place. And you do the best you can, basically.
With this Star Wars new series, first you have to get people interested in the character of Rey, and there was not that much interest at the end of the other films. Though part of it is not her fault. The last movie was just a complete mess, so we can't blame Daisy Ridley for all of that. Then you have to interest them in not just following her journey, but her being a mentor to the new figure, to the new trainee. What kind of person is this person going to be? What is their personality? Are they going to be innocent? Are they going to be fun-loving? Are they going to be sarcastic? What kind of personality? And you have to follow them through 3 films, not just 1, but to 3. Now, I would say this is a perfect opportunity to bring back the, as Jacob calls them, the lesbian space witches, and we can introduce them into this world and show that they have survived, and now they're going to take their revenge. I don't know. I honestly,
what the fuck you do? Break your funny bone and forget to set it? Jesus Christ!
Why don't you want the lesbian space witches, Jacob? Look,
because no one wants them, right?
I think honestly, it would be easier to explain that like they like their home planet got blown up somehow by
By
Death
lesbian space
by
witches.
the Death Star. By the
Yes.
Death Star.
I can totally see. I
Between
can totally
Rogue
see the
One
whole.
and
They
between
got
Rogue
blown up
One-
by Jar Jar Binks. Why not?
I was just saying, like for this series, there's a lot of opportunity if you know where to look for it. I don't know if they know where to look for it. I don't think they're going to try very hard.
No, because they're going to try to coast on the whole Star Wars, just the name and Daisy Ridley
Yeah.
as Rey, and they think people are going to be attracted to that. I don't think they will. I don't, I really don't. I don't care. I've never been invested in Star Wars enough to follow all the nuances of the plot.
Well, you know what, Rick? Some of us are. Not me, but some of us actually are.
Well, for them, I wonder, are the people behind it now just almost mocking the fan base in the way that Joker
Yes.
2 mocked the fan base?
I
Then
don't even think it's
then they're
mocking
gonna
them.
learn-
They're more hostile, like directly hostile to them.
Then once the newest one comes out, and if it flops because the fans rejected it, they're going to have to think long and hard. Do we really want to keep investing in something that is going to have diminishing returns? That's the questions that these are the questions that they should ask. Look, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Do we have an interesting story to tell? For a lot of people, the Last Jedi, or whatever the last one, Rise of Skywalker, that was the end. That was the end, and there was no need to continue anymore. But if they want to keep diving into this world, well, all right, it's their money. I don't have to go and see it unless
See,
Jason forces me to.
I think you could just do so much interesting stuff if you had an ounce of talent. Like, I mean, like one student of Luke's surviving and cloning him would be fun. That kind of thing would be fun to do. Getting
They did all that shit in the EU.
well, I mean, like that's just kind of what I mean. Is like if you're not going to follow the EU, you still can borrow elements and use them in a creative sort of way. So
Now, did the lesbian space witches clone him?
Well, see,
That's
like
what
the
they do.
lesbian space witches wouldn't believe in cloning.
That's true. But that's what I
They
was
were
going to say, though.
a renegade lesbian space witch.
No.
But that to the point of the EU, that's what I was going to say. It's like, dude, you have all these books, you have comics. There's so much to adapt from. Just adapt the source material. That's all you have to do.
But they hate the source. Like, this is the fundamental problem. The people running the Star Wars franchise hate the Star Wars franchise, and they hate the fan base. They've spent 10 years trying to recreate the fan base into their image, and it hasn't worked. So the reason why all this stuff is failing is because the creative is hostile to the people that they're literally marketing to.
Now they could always bring Lizzo and Jack Black, right?
No, Star Trek, but I mean, yeah, they can always do that again.
Jack Black would be a great lesbian
There's
space
probably
witch.
some kind of time jump, so you'd have to bring in their child.
Well, yeah.
You know what? If they bring Jack Black in and Jack Black just says, "Yes, I'm in this movie too."
Well, I mean,
And
he
he
has a
made
son.
he mates
His
with
Black's son.
the Jack Black and Lizzo's son mates with Rose Tico.
Oh, God.
And
He really wants to put over Rose Chico.
Yeah, he's single-handedly trying to keep that legacy alive.
Maybe she
Is Rose
an alcoholic, right?
Oh man, that's so gross. I can taste it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, look, they know what they're doing. They're trying to go at war with their fan base, but it's not going to work out very well for them. So, yeah, waste the next 3 years in putting this whole thing into development. Give it another $300 million, and then watch this one flop at the box office. And then still somehow Kathleen Kennedy won't be fired because she has Polaroids somewhere in a safe of some Disney executives doing something nefarious, and that's why they've kept her along this long, because you could have justifiably fired her after The Last Jedi. Justifiably.
Did she?
No,
keep
they should have
the- did
fired
she
her
keep
after
the,
Solo.
No, did she keep
Solo
the
lost
video
money.
of the Diddy parties? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why she's still in power.
I mean, maybe she was there.
She's a
and then
good.
she kept
She's one
some
of those.
pictures.
She really is one of those.
does
What's her
look
name? Gazelles or whatever.
I mean, guys, I know I was a huge bummer earlier, but I gotta say, evil dominatrix Ray is really doing it for me.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I think this is, God.
Like I said, we need heel turn Ray. That's the only way that we're gonna get this thing over.
I'm gonna
She
be
can't
right
a good guy
back.
anymore.
If she was a lesbian, if she dressed like this as a lesbian space witch, I would watch the movies.
Like I said, any idea is better than what they're doing now.
Where she'll bring Rose Tico into the lesbian space witch.
God.
Patrick, can you shut the fuck up?
Ray needs to be.
Right.
Bob, yeah, and then Bob is
Hey, we
looking to
could
be on
fix
his
Star
way.
Wars. We fix Star Wars. We let Quentin Tarantino make one movie, and that would fix the franchise.
That would be his final movie because he's going to retire.
I just want to sum this up just real quick. Kathleen Kennedy's been around for so long. Bob Iger stepped down, came back, and is looking possibly will step down again before they ever get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. In the same timeline. So, yeah, just throwing it out there. Everything's fine.
She's gotta be. She'll retire when she gets to be the Hillary Kamala 28, campaign manager.
Oh, that's a scary, scary thought.
She'll
Lesbian
retire
witches in
after.
space, reflects reality, right? So
She will retire after she gets the Lifetime Achievement Oscar and a Kennedy Center honors for her contribution to the arts.
Her name's Kathleen Kennedy.
Contribution to the destruction of arts.
Well, we live in a Marxist society. You can't create anything new. If you created something new and interesting, it would threaten the status quo.
You would literally be tarred
Just like
and
the
feathered and beaten.
just like the Hugo.
Well, anyone have any final thoughts on the Star Wars Rey saga? We're still
If you
doing
guys liked my idea, I have a space opera trilogy called The Divine Space Pirates. It's very good.
Do you have a brick-faced British woman as lead in that series too?
No,
Oh, well, no.
she's a redhead. So.
No, she has
Oh,
Rose
okay.
Tico. She has Rose Tico be the lead in that.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, this is it. This is all the Star Wars stuff going on now. So it's great. Everything's great. Hopefully Trump just kills this entire industry. That's the best case scenario we can all hope for. Any final thoughts here before we wrap things up on tonight?
Rose Tico.
I didn't say it for once.
Oh, I hate all of you. Yeah, I really do.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Nobody cares.
I just love the awkward silence there right after that whole bit. Well, we've reached the end of this night. I think it's a good time to wrap things up and sign off here for the night. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a round table to promote anything you guys got coming up. Theo, we start with you because you were actually the new guest here for the night. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show and hope to have you back for future episodes. But tell people what you're working on, where they can find more of you.
Absolutely. I have a bunch of dates coming up where I'm doing stand-up at various places. The best place to keep track of that is to follow me on my social medias. My link tree is in my little name thing down there, but I will also post that in the chat briefly so that you guys can go there. And then that will show you all of my links where you can go to places and give me money for stuff.
All right, then. Speaking of going places and giving money to stuff, Nerdigans. I'm pretty sure you got a place to go to as well.
Hi. So you can find me on my YouTube channel, Nerdigans Inc., where I cover anime and manga every day. You can find me on Patreon, which is patreon.com/packergirl, where I cover anime. Right now, we're doing Dragon Ball Daima and Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. When the English dub for Daima comes out, we'll be covering the English dub because, of course, Stephanie Nadolny is back as Kid Goku. So I it's Goku Mini, but still, I have to cover it for that reason. And plus, something I did hear through the grapevine is, unlike a lot of the English dubs, the Daima dub actually stays true to the Japanese script. So there's no excuse for woke English dubs to exist. The other thing that I'm doing on my Twitter, which you can follow right here, is when I'm not, doing my bounding stuff or anything else, I am doing my reread of Pokemon Adventures manga, partially because of the stuff I'm doing with Jacob, but also because I am going to start covering Pokemon Adventures on my channel again. So that will start. You said in December, right? We'll cover Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah, we'll take a little break and then we'll come back in a few weeks.
Yeah, and then tomorrow I'll be on Founding's YouTube channel for Tokyo Happy Hour and 01 with Cider and Spencer, and then I'll be back here on Tuesday.
All right, jumping over the orange hat.
Alrighty, well, I'm trying to reach 2,000 subs on my channel. If people are able to get me to 2,000 subs, I'll do a giveaway on my channel to give away a set of these. They're actually a very good pair of binoculars. Gotta happen before New Year's, though. Also, this month, I'm doing, for the ones and twos on my friend Jade Shadow's channel, we are doing the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock duology. And for singles, first singles will be the Thursday before Thanksgiving. It will be on X exclusively, 8:30 p.m. on this Orange Hat 21851. Or Orange 2185. But actually I think it's Orange Hat. But anyway, it'll be Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete, the director's cut, and the Friday after Thanksgiving will be Final Fantasy Spirits Within discussion. Other than that, I do Fridays are Orange Hat Uncensored, and Sundays are the weekly recap with me, my friend Ambassador, and my friend Kate. So yeah.
All right, Johnson, CJ.
Hey everyone, buy my books.
That's
You've
it?
spent stupider amounts of money on stupider things. So clearly evidenced by this podcast.
That's a tagline. I'm not the dumbest thing you bought this week.
If you went to see Joker Filet Adieu, you practically owe me money. So.
There you go. Cider, tech support. How's it going?
Well enough. I'm still alive. But anyway, like Nerdigan said, you can catch us all over on the 01 stream on the Bounding into Comics YouTube channel. And barring that we're not mass flagged by the leftist upset about Trump's election victory into oblivion, mind you, we'll be there to stream at 8 p.m. tomorrow night with Tokyo Happy Hour at the top. And at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you could catch 01 The Real Show, or whenever Jacob shows up, basically.
Yes, eventually I'll show up on the show. Eventually. Oh boy.
I just wanted to say that I watched the rest of The Penguin. It had 2 more episodes I didn't get to watch. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not that bad. I'd have to say it's maybe an 8 out of 10. Not like IGN. They said it's 7 out of 10. But that's not that good. If you don't go and shine me at Twitter at EddieBrock_YT, I'm just gonna have to shoot you. Just gonna take you out. So yeah, EddieBrock_YT, Twitter. Let's dance.
I'm just gonna make it awkward. I'm just gonna keep it on you for a little bit.
Baby, I just want to have sex with my mother, but she doesn't know me, but she doesn't see me that way. That's why I have to kill my brothers. I didn't screw anybody's. Nobody.
Oh boy. Rick.
All right. Well, I just got the continuing the Wizard of Oz retrospective, where I've been reviewing various versions of the L. Frank Baum book. Upcoming will be a review for the Muppets Wizard of Oz, the VeggieTales Wizard of Oz, and probably the Lynch Oz documentary which connects David Lynch with The Wizard of Oz. Everything up to Wicked, which I will have to watch now. And I've got upcoming reviews. I will be reviewing the Celine Dion documentary. I will be reviewing Red One, which I saw an early screening of. And yeah, just more reviews of films that I have seen and I would rather watch Argyle. That's just my answer. It's sad that I've actually found films that are worse than Argyle this year, but I still hate it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. More reviews and the continuing Wizard of Oz retrospective. And God help us all.
Amen.
And last but certainly not least, our good buddy Rob. How's it going?
Thank you for taking so long, everybody. I really appreciate it. So I'm back to writing reviews. I got 3 out yesterday. Civil War's coming up, Challengers, which is terrible. More stuff, Quiet Place Day 1. Just catching up on my reviews, finally getting them out. And making myself do them. So you can check those out on my Twitter. You can also go to my Letterboxd. My handle is really pretentious, but it's cinephile_Rob. So that's where you can find those. Looking forward to the end of the year as always. Actually, not really. But hopefully there's going to be a couple more good movies that we can throw into the top 10. And I'm getting my top 10 worst put together as well. So I'm looking forward to the end of the year show that we do. And that's about it. Otherwise, just follow me over on my Twitter. I'm trying not to be too political, but I'm also like taking a victory lap right now. So that's fun. But yeah, anyway, go Trump 2024. And I don't know, just tip your waitresses, get your dogs neutered. Have a good week. Bye.
It's Spade, but yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I got coming up here for this show. I'll be with Bounding tomorrow night for the 01 podcast with Spencer Nerdigans and Cider. On Friday, we're going to be doing the Friday Night Movie Club. We are retiring that show, so we're doing our last few episodes, and then the last one will be the first week of January. This week, we'll be reviewing the Red One movie, The Rock and Chris Hemsworth, that film. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Probably will. Sunday, we have the Bible Ends. I know everyone's excited that Trump is president, but I have to ask the question, if Trump is president, could he be the president that hands America over the mystery Babylon? That will be the question we ask on Sunday. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back here, same time, same place. And that's all about it. So to everyone who joined us here tonight, to all of you lovely face people here, to Selena, who was here earlier, to Orange Hat, who was here with us as well, to everyone in the chat for joining us into on YouTube, on Rumble, on Twitch, all those good platforms. Now it's time to hit the outro that the person waving, not the Mexican, the other person waving, he did the outro song for this one. So hope you guys enjoy it. So adios, goodbye, and good night.
Okay. Oh. Making your way through the daily grind takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to tune away? All those nights when you're feeling low, the rent is overdue, and your coffee maker's broken, your luck just seems to skew, and your boss is always on your case. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Roll out of bed and you feel the dread. The morning's looking bleak. And your internet is down again. You haven't slept all week, and your car just broke down on the way. Be glad there's a place online where you can feel at ease. In the barroom, podcast friends, we share our thoughts and tease. Every story shared, every laugh so free. Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. Wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. So here's to the moments we all hold dear. In this barroom of the airwaves with friends so near. Every story shared, every heartfelt cheer. It's more than just a podcast, it's where we steer.
I still don't feel like I know how to shoot these things.